gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real, where we keep you up to date in the latest of the world of TV and movies. I am your host, the Everborn Saga, and joining me today are three very special guests, plus our illustrious regular panel to talk about DC fandom and that bitch-ass Batman. No, I'm joking, but let's get it started. I want to run through this this opening.
Your secret favorite character. Well, we all know that.
Easy. That was in the DMs. You're not supposed to leak that. All right. The Mag. How are you doing this evening, good sir?
Yes, I am excited to be here, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to argue about tonight. It's going to be a whole lot of stuff to be discussed in the whole Batverse. And, of course, there'll be some other things that's going to sprinkle in here and there. But you know what? We're all here for the Batman. We know that's exactly why we're here.
The Mag, the king of the North.
Let's get into it. The North never forgets. Remember that.
And we have Mr. Cotton himself. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. It's making my debut on your channel, and I'm ready to talk some Battinson.
Battinson, see, you got it right already. All right.
Respect on his name, you know what I mean?
And then
wow, we started early. Okay.
None other than the Batman apologist himself. He is vengeance. He's a simp for Batman. He would be fine if Jeff Bezos put on a costume and beat up poor people.
Whoa.
How are we doing?
Easy.
Crazy over here.
Now, hey, man, too much already. What's going on, guys? Appreciate the invite. Glad to be here once again. I am ready for this back and forth. All this Everborn, let's get this straight. Everborn loves Batman. Every time we talk about Batman, this man smiles from ear to ear like the Joker. So we're ready. I'm ready for the night. Let's go.
And what did the Joker do with the Batman? But also joining me is my brother from the same mother, Mr. LeVar Johnson, a.k.a. Exodus. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Nice to see y'all again. It feels like such a long time since last week.
Oh, I was about to say, we did a show last week. We didn't even take off last week. All right. And then some like to call him my evil twin. I like to call him the budget version of me. Wow. Mr. TKO Asante. Wow,
man. Punch him in the face when you see it.
It's like this every Thursday, huh?
But he does excel in one area, the beard. The man's beard is epic and a sight to behold, and I wish I could grow a beard like that one day.
I'll just say I'm the Malcolm, the Martin to his Malcolm, so I'll let him have that. Nice. It's all right, man. Some can grow and some can't. Some complain. It's fine. Welcome everybody. This is gonna be an interesting episode. Let's do this.
All right. So now, as we do every week, the first thing we discuss before we get into the shit is what we're watching. So, since we have some special guests this evening, I'd like to start with Mr. Cybernox. What have you been watching this week?
Honestly, man, this week I've been looking forward to watching Doom. That's the thing that I've been looking forward to the most. I on the PTG DMs, you guys, I just finished Squid Games, so I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, so I just finished that. I'm looking forward to Doom. Besides family, work, and everything else in between, that's what I've been up to. So yeah, that's it for me, man. I wish I had more exciting things to say here in regards to shows, but unfortunately, with like I mentioned, family and
life
work,
happens, man.
My time is limited, and gaming. Don't forget gaming. Come on, we're all gamers here, so it's rough.
That was actually going to be my answer, and it took me and the missus about 2 weeks to watch Squid Game just because of our schedule. We were getting one episode every other day.
Yeah. And sometimes I got the missus that she likes to watch different shows, and we accompany each other, and we try to do a little bit of both worlds. So it's tough, man. But hey, we're both definitely excited for Dune right now. I did get her to actually watch, and I sent you guys a picture, The Matrix for the first time.
Oh,
so
nice.
We're gonna rewatch the whole trilogy.
Oh, hey, listen, I want to set up a spaces. I want to set up a spaces where we live watch The Matrix.
Oof.
And talk about it while we're watching it.
That's good.
Now, before we move on, I just want to shout out Neo Mental, Gerald Mack, and Splendiferous that are in the building.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
We see you and we appreciate you. All right. Mr. Cotton, what are you watching these days, good sir?
Oh man, I've been.
Oh, may I just say something real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
I didn't know we had, the future star of the Uncharted next episode right here with us today.
I know,
I'm
right?
My bad, dude.
I'm here.
We saw that video, man.
I don't want to
Video
cut
is
off
great,
Cotton
dude.
here, but I got to tell you, I wish I had one more day before they launched that trailer, because as soon as the Uncharted trailer actually came out, my video dropped. So I only hit about 40,000 views.
Dang.
Oh,
Only
40,000.
40,000 views.
Go flex
Yeah.
somewhere
My
else.
Halo,
all right?
no, come on. My Halo one got 450,000, right? So
Oh,
I was hoping to
Now
shoot
he's really
somewhere in that
flexing.
range, right? And then as soon as the actual Uncharted trailer dropped, I'm like, damn it, the joke's dead. And that's it. The tweet just went like this. Bang! The video just dropped like a rock.
Oh,
So,
that was really well done.
They had
music
a
was great,
different.
though.
They
Well,
had a different train wreck to watch. I'm sorry, continue.
Maybe Sony paid to downvote any videos that had Uncharted in the
Maybe.
title so theirs could come up.
yeah, can you imagine?
I'm not saying correlation is causation, but But anyway, Cotton, what are you watching this
Oh
week,
man,
sir?
I've been mad busy. I've been traveling a lot. I actually just got back home to Denver today from New York. I was there for the past week and a half. Almost.
Oh, you
2
didn't
weeks.
come check. You didn't come check me out while you
I
was
was
in
up.
New
I was
York?
upstate. I thought about it. I got to make my way
alright.
down to the city, see
Alright,
you guys,
I
and see
see you.
Mr. Boom. But I was upstate, like Albany area, actually.
All right, what did you watch on the plane?
Oh, I was actually before I flew out. I watched all of Squid Game in about a day or
Good,
two, and then I watched Midnight Mass, which is another show that's on Netflix.
Got that yet.
I want to start watching that.
Was
I got to
actually
start
pretty
watching
cool.
it. No spoilers.
And
please.
then
Great show.
when I got to New York, my girlfriend wanted to watch this show called You. It's on Netflix, which I'd never.
Oh yeah, the Stalker show.
It's
Yeah,
it's about
yeah.
some straight up
Heard it was good.
psychopaths. It's a crazy show. So I watched all of that, and then I've just been kind of on a throwback. I've been watching The Wire more recently. That's what That's what I was
Ooh.
watching on the plane.
Oh, you mean one of the greatest television
Shows of
shows
all time?
ever
That's
of
right.
all time
Yeah.
that the Everborn Saga
Absolutely.
has never seen?
Oh,
that's
come on.
crazy.
We're gonna
That's
get into
crazy.
some things.
You need
that
to
I've never
watch that
seen.
show. I've been telling everybody.
I'm
Preaching it.
waiting.
Oh,
I am
man.
waiting
It's
until
private
I.
democracy
until
right now.
I,
He has not seen that.
I'm waiting until one day I break my leg and then I can get that in.
Even Barack
I think it's
Obama
like-
says that's one of the greatest
Oh,
shows ever.
I think it
Oh,
honestly
yes.
might be Idris Elba's like best role to me.
Many great actors best
yeah,
roles.
I would
It's-
argue.
Yeah.
I would
Idris
argue
Elba's
his
best
best
role.
role is geez,
The
what's
Wire.
the show
Yeah,
where he's a
he was
detective?
actually American when I saw that.
Oh, Luther.
Luther,
is
yes.
one of his best
Yeah,
roles,
I-
Yes.
It blew my mind when I heard his British accents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All
what
right.
I've been watching.
All right, cool. Oh, and I would just like to say hello to everyone except that raggedy bitch Bev. That's the nun from Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
And I'm glad she's
I
dead.
cannot stand.
All right.
You know why she was so
Worst.
uptight, Steve? Because you're
I
not
said
getting
no
up.
spoilers.
Okay.
Just know
All
that
right.
It's
All
just a
right.
character that you're meant to hate, and she plays that character very well.
All right. All right. Mag,
Yeah,
what
man.
have you been watching, sir?
Boy, I got to tell you, you know what? I've been sort of after I got those the platinums on the Uncharted series. By the way, everyone, I hear that you're trying to get into this Uncharted situation. Start at 1, please, and then just
No,
go.
I
he-
played
he-
one.
he's
I
already
played
played
one.
one.
That's
He's
the only
played
one I
one.
played.
Okay.
I didn't like it, and I never went back.
Okay, you
Hey,
got to play
Mag, let
two.
me ask you a quick question on that
Yes.
right before we get to your next point. How did you get the trophies for?
They changed them on the whatever it is, the remastered editions that
collection?
they released for
Remastered.
PS4.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
changed. They changed like
Oh,
it was
that's
like
right, you
what's it
told
called?
me.
The
That's
Nathan
right.
Drake collection,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they removed.
I was
the
actually just
multiplayer
playing
tropes.
a few minutes ago.
You told me that. Yes, correct.
They
All right.
removed that,
Sorry.
and anyway, magnificent. But anyhow, yeah, number 2 is great. Number 3 is great, and then I'm waiting for 4 and Lost Legacy to do on the PS5. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
4 is so good, man.
Oh yeah, it's great. As for what I'm watching, I finished Squid Game in 1 day. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
I finished it in 1 day. It wasn't that bad. Like in order to get through, the whole season or whatever. I was off, obviously. Once I was done that, I watched the many Saints of Newark. was
Another
nice.
one that I watched this
I
weekend.
watched that as well, actually.
It was
just
good.
like last night.
But it feels like it could have used another 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
it ended, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
it kind
come
of
on,
felt
man,
like
let's
a,
get into the
a
meat
long
now. Like, it
pilot
almost
of a
felt
show
like-
that you're not going to get.
Yeah, it's like an appetizer, right? And then like, where's my entree, right? So like, I watched that. It was really good though, really good. A little disturbing actually. I found some stuff in there was pretty. Holy mackerel! I was just like, Jesus Christ, these guys are nuts. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. I also watched Halloween Kills. I enjoyed that very much. Except, I mean, I'm a lifelong Michael Myers fan. I even research all his illnesses and stuff like that about like, his fake catatonia and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he like this? There's also another one. I can't remember what it's called, controlled diversion or something, or it's one of the other illnesses that he has that he doesn't feel pain. And it's actually something that a lot of psych patients actually are afflicted with as well. But he's very overpowered. I mean, the guy's like the Terminator. It's getting a little ridiculous. He's 62 years old, for Christ's sake. How much can the man take? I'm 46. I'm falling apart. You know what I'm saying?
Taking on whole like
this guy's getting pitchforks in his back, and he's like, "Yeah, it's all right." And he's just like walking around like everything's fine. But anyways, that's what I've been watching this week, and I was actually going to sit down and watch Bond, which I never got to. And what else was I supposed to get to? And Dune eventually. I'm going to get to that as well in the next week. But anyways, that's what I watched this week, and I liked everything that I've seen so far. But the next on the list is going to be actually Midnight Mass. Funny enough, so 'tis the season, right?
All right, just remember when you see that raggedy bitch, Bev.
All right,
that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. All right,
we gotta get some shirts made. That raggedy bitch.
That raggedy bitch.
Yeah, you can probably sell them.
All right, Mr. Johnson, what have you been watching, sir?
I've been watching The Back of My Eyelids. No, but seriously,
that's a good show.
I watched this shit. What is it called? That video game, the DC shit, Injustice. I watched that. That shit was really good.
Yeah. You watched? Did you watch the movie that came out?
Injustice, the movie. Yes.
I thought you watched like the YouTube movie of people playing the game.
Not the cutscenes. No, I watched the actual movie.
Okay.
Great.
This is an actual film.
Did you play the game?
I'm looking forward to it.
It's great. I have the game. I play it sometimes. I've never beat the game.
Have you watched The Long Halloween? The one that
I saw both parts of The Long Halloween. I saw that too. But I've been for that. But I'm just saying what I've been watching.
Well, you just been watching, yeah.
I watched that. I watched Dune. Trash, by the way. If y'all ain't see it,
stop. Would you just stop?
One of the worst movies
for context
ever made.
He does not. He didn't like Blade Runner 2049.
I feel like it's a super nerdy movie.
It's pretentious. A lot of details. It's a bunch of exposition, and nothing fucking happens at all.
Oh my god, one of those.
Yes,
you need to stop. You
stop.
Yes,
they show you objects, and then they explain to you the significance of the objects. But if they didn't explain to you the significance of it, it just looks like thrift store shit. It's just like, this is special because this, and then they play some ominous music, and it's just like, oh, I'm supposed to be intrigued. It's all gray and sand. You see glimpses of sandworms. You see one that's really big, but nothing really happens.
So it's basically like Star Trek, the motion picture, the very first one.
It's the most boring version of Star Trek I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be like maybe the first, like a third of the book.
It's the first third.
It has like a very cut off ending. So,
have all of y'all read the book?
No,
I have listened to the book.
I watched the
I've read like 80% of it.
No. We're not going to do that. Not today. I want to do a special show just for that.
Yes,
so we'll save it.
Now, Mr. K, but there's nothing to ruin. Nothing happens.
True.
Mr. K. Asante.
Some cool shots.
Mr. K. Asante. What have you been
also
watching,
have
sir?
watched Dune. I actually finished. I watched Dune, and I have a different opinion from LeVar, but we'll save that one for when everyone has watched it. We can have that conversation. I actually also watched. Stop it. I also watched Love, Death, and Robots. Have y'all heard of this?
Absolutely.
A few little weird. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but I just love the idea of just throwing so much weird shit at it. You know what I mean? And I found many of it interesting. It really harkens back to like the Animatrix. For those who've seen the Animatrix.
Yes, I love that.
I really, really dig that show. So I think there's a new season coming out as well. Or was there a new season?
I saw a new season at the beginning of the year.
It's on the list. You know how those go, right?
Oh yeah.
It hits the list and it disappears into the nether realm, right?
Yeah, I actually like this show a lot because it you don't have to binge it. It's not in any kind of order. Every one of them are contained in their own little world, you know. Yeah. So I really dig that show. So I watched that and Dune, and I have thoughts, but we'll save the thoughts for that.
Yes, I'm gonna watch Dune tomorrow. All right. Yeah. So I have been. I've finished Squid Game, and I want to say I don't.
I think we've all finished Squid Game at this point.
Oh, you just finished that, Steve?
Yeah, just finished it yesterday, I think. I like the show's very intriguing, but I feel like they didn't land the ending the way they should have.
Season 2 might not hit the way season 1 did.
Yeah, and I know they're setting things up for season 2, but it didn't feel like a proper cutoff.
Yeah,
right.
Am I supposed to be rooting for this guy? It's just that like you were a piece of shit the entire movie, or the entire show, and then it's just they're like you won all this money. You're sorry about that all these other people died. They were willing to kill you.
Asshole friend.
Yeah. All of them were going to kill you. Every
there was
single
no
one of them
redemption.
You get that money, and you're acting like you lost your friends. But now you have money to take care of your daughter, and you say "fuck it, fuck your daughter."
Yeah.
Yes.
Which by the way, is the same thing he did at the beginning. Right? He got money from his mother. And he decided to go gamble.
Yeah.
And he's right back to that at the end when he's going to see his daughter saying, yeah, I'll be right there. I'm going to get you everything you want.
Yes. No, he gambles in a different way at the end.
Yeah, but you know why? He turned around because he saw the dude with the thing, the game they were playing.
That dude might win and could be able to change his own life.
Well, but who makes you the authority on going back and correcting things? You got
a reason.
It's fucking business, bro.
There's a show. There's a show I watched on YouTube. I was supposed to send it to Everborn and I forgot to. Not that I forgot to. I couldn't find it because then 8 million other different videos showed up. And it was about how actually the entire show and the creator and the writer actually based it all on The Matrix. Remember I was telling you about this, Everborn? You're like, what is that? What is this you're talking about?
Yeah, I need to understand.
It is incredible. And it was about 30 minutes long. And now I can't find the damn video because I never really tagged it.
So they said they based it on The Matrix?
If it's on YouTube.
Incredible. It's like
that lawsuit from the Wachowskis.
Yeah, well, even the colors. Look at the colors, blue and red. Remember they're playing that game at the beginning in the subway? The one was blue, one was red. In the end, his hair was red because his eyes were open. He took the red pill in the beginning. And when he walked into the thing, he was wearing a blue hat. And then all the other games were based on blue and red. And it was all about how that you walked in, he actually had taken, quote unquote, the blue pill. And that he wasn't aware of what was actually going on. He didn't delve deep into this entire, secret society. He wasn't really into all this. And then once his eyes were open to it, all the different colors in the show from the second half of the show and on, everything he wore had something red, including at the very end his hair. And so this little like documentary I watched was
Coming to America references, by the way, sir. Good job.
I knew somebody would get it.
There's a fly in my soup.
What want is soup?
Yeah. I thought he was gonna become a VIP at the end. I thought he was gonna get addicted to that winning and that adrenaline that he got at all, and then that phone call was gonna be him calling, and somewhere somehow him turning into one of the VIPs. That's what
the
I
idea was also
like the chick's brother.
When he was on the phone with his daughter.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, yeah. And then he hangs up and then he just kind of turns away and starts walking away. It was almost identical to the idea of him. Doesn't he also make the phone call to them and says, I'm coming for you kind of deal?
Right.
And what they said, another thing that they're saying that the writer actually had also designed it in a way that it was supposed to be exactly the way that Neo at the end of the first Matrix is on the phone. Remember that?
Yeah,
with the programs and saying, I know who you are. I know what's saying. I'm coming for you. I'm freeing the people who are coming to be freed. If you're with me, you're with you. If you're not, you're not. Whatever the hell he said, right?
Yeah,
and then he hangs up the phone, and then Rage Against the Machine comes on and he flies away, right? That was it's almost shot for shot, done almost the exact same way, except with a cell phone this time. But anyways, this documentary is incredible, breaking down every single reference. I gotta find it, man. I gotta find it.
I need that. I need
that's blowing my mind, man.
Did you just see a black cat walking past you, Steve?
Even when he was wearing the blue hat at the beginning, and then halfway through, he ditched the hat. He never wore it again. And then, anyway, sorry, I didn't want to.
There were so many hints throughout that whole series of about exactly, like knowing that the spoilers here if someone in the chat hasn't seen it, but who was in charge? You know what I mean? And then I don't know if you guys noticed it, but after they do the riots and stuff on the walls,
I didn't trust him since I saw his number.
Yeah. 1,000. And he didn't make sense. He was the old. Everyone else was like around the same age, give or take.
We should have known it all along.
Was way too far.
I did know it all along.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And on the wall, of the
they show all the games.
All the games. Yeah. You would, because when they did the
were paying
riot,
attention.
yeah, exactly.
They should have been paying attention. We all should have been paying attention.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the other things I watched was also The Many Saints of Newark, and it felt like a lot of nothing happening, but it was super interesting to watch them play around in that world. But I don't really get what the end purpose of it. But here's another thing. I've only watched the final season of Sopranos.
You're terrible. You need to go back.
Yeah, Sopranos is a really good show.
It was better.
Can I ask a question for anybody who remembers the series? I can't I watched every single episode, but my God, it's been years. Yeah. The whole the dude that was working for what's his name? God damn it, I forgot all their names now. The main guy. Moltisanti there.
Yes.
Dicky.
Yes.
Some of those guys that were working for him, the collector. Yeah, the guy was doing the collections for him, and then he ended up breaking up. Right?
The black guy, right?
Yeah. I just can't remember his name. What was it, Henry or something? Or?
Oh, no idea.
Harold. I think it was Harold.
Harold, yeah.
It was Harold. Yeah, sorry. I couldn't remember his damn name. Harold.
This is why you got to do your Googles and then open a window, Google it, and then
I know. I couldn't remember it. So now you got Harold. Was there was a lot of focus on the organized street, the organized crime within the black community and in the Italians. Now, did that really face off in the show? I don't remember.
No, I don't really.
Because it seems like they were building it up in a way that they were going to kind of come to a head at some point, start battling.
I don't think that
territory.
ever happened. Yeah, that never.
See, I don't remember that either. So I'm like, it's strange that they put so much focus on that. And I'm like, now I started second guessing myself. I'm like, were there any territory wars, like maybe in the 80s or 90s, where you had you had the Italians on one side, you had the black gangs on the other side, and the Italian gangs on the other side, and they were all vying for territory and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't remember this in the show. So I found it odd that they kind of brought that, you know what I'm saying? Like there was so much focus on the two sides, sort of building up this tension between the two, and then nothing happened.
Yeah, homeboy just kind of walks away, and then
he just walked away, and then Dickie
other
gets
interesting thing is
whacked by someone completely different.
Yeah, and he said he was gonna work with Frank Lucas, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, he was the New York guy, right?
Yeah. The guy, he said Frank Lucas was going to front him.
Did they ever show
a numbers
up
game
in the show? Because I know that the New Jersey gangs did not like the New York gangs.
Right.
They hated each other. They had to respect each other because they had no choice. But they never really showed these guys. So I'm like, what's the point of building up 2 hours of tension, and then there was no payoff? To me, anyway,
it's kind of like the ending of the series.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's that too. It just kind of kept going on. It could have gone on for 10 more seasons.
Yeah. And the last thing,
like a period piece.
The last thing, and it was cool that they got James Gandolfini's son to play a young.
That was cool.
Yeah. And a young Tony. Now the last thing, I'm trying to get caught up on Demon Slayer so I can finally watch the Mugen Train movie, because I never finished season 1 because I feel like it's one of the most overrated animes out there. People go crazy over it, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal.
Not my favorite, but the movie is pretty tight.
And My Hero Academia is way better than Demon Slayer, but I will die on that hill.
Fighting words to some people.
Good, let them fight me. All right, now let's talk about this thing since we have everybody here, and I don't know how long we have everybody. DC Fandom was this weekend, and it was 3 hours of garbage, but 15 minutes of greatness. And the greatest thing that they kept us waiting 3.5 hours to watch was the new Batman trailer, or the new The Batman trailer.
The Batman trailer.
Right.
Batman, I call him. Emo Batman.
Yeah.
It's like the Suicide Squad. Remember that?
Emo Battinson.
They have to put the in front of everything to make every sentence seem awkward.
Now, I want to know what everybody thought about the trailer. And before we start, I actually liked last year's trailer better. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
how about you start?
I can start this off if you guys
want.
Take
the floor, gentlemen.
Grab
a bottle of water.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You started with Batman?
We're starting with Batman.
Just get it out the way. Yes.
Yeah, Batman we're starting with. So, all right, here's my issue. And this is like Batman slander aside.
Okay.
Right?
Honest Batman talk. Okay.
Right.
That's a new one. We'll see how this goes.
I'm very interested in what Matt Reeves is doing, but I don't know how well it will pay off. And I'm gonna explain why. I'm very excited for it.
I hate the cowl.
I'm not even mad at that. And listen, on what I feel like Matt Reeves is doing that is different than everyone else did, because everyone has to make the Batman their own, right? And we saw what Tim Burton's vision for what his vision for Batman was, right? And then we saw what Joel Schumacher's vision for Batman was. And then that almost tanked the entire franchise.
Plastic nipples. Yes, we remember that.
Right. And don't forget the back credit card. Now,
in the back credit card.
Yes. And Alicia Silverstone. But then Christopher Nolan came around and he tried to ground Batman. Right? He tried to say what happens if Batman existed in the real world.
Well, that's why Gotham. You don't agree?
I'm not saying he wasn't. But that's why Gotham, all of it didn't feel like Gotham, right? I mean, he filmed it in Chicago, but that's because he wanted it to feel real, right? Now Matt Reeves' Batman actually, and then we can't forget Snyder's Batman, which is more fantastical with the crawling up walls and existing next to Superman and doing these things. It was more of a cartoon, but in a better way than Joel Schumacher's.
Real quick question, just to interject. What's your favorite Batman movie?
Right now,
not serious. One movie. What's your favorite one?
The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Yeah, to me it's still Batman 89 or whatever.
Yeah, see,
Batman Begins is my favorite.
The OG been a good Batman movie since 89.
Yeah, the OG Batman still holds a very close place in my heart.
If it wasn't for that, everything that came after it was, influenced by that. Just the whole look of Batman.
It created the Batman language that all
the Nolan Batman, the Joker. There was like stuff that paid homage to that movie, like scenes that they kind of did over. So I still got to give it to that. I mean, I prefer Heath Ledger's performance of the Joker to Jack Nicholson's. But to me, still, Michael Keaton is still the best Bruce Wayne Batman.
What you have to give,
Christian Bale did with it.
Yeah, what you have to give Tim Burton's Batman is that he created a whole world.
Yes,
right. It wasn't just the Batman,
a city or whatever.
Right. It's everything was in like it was on another timeline, like it was another universe,
and it had like pulpy, like comic-y.
Yeah.
And you see like those matte shots of like Gotham City.
Yeah,
with the big spotlights and all that stuff. It just looks so fantastical and like almost like whimsical. Like you would never see that in a real city. Like something out of a fantasy novel almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. And it's like the same timeless look that the Batman animated series had. Like, you can watch it today and it still works weirdly enough with all the latex and rubber and things like that. So now we come to Matt Reeves' Batman, right? And Matt Reeves' Batman, I think he's trying to make Gotham its own character again. And it feels like what he's doing is a good version of the Gotham TV series, where the movie seems like it will focus more on Gotham and the elements of Gotham, meaning the other characters of Gotham, just as much, if not more, than it will focus on Batman. Not unlike Black Panther had a heavy focus on Wakanda and its characters, and kind of Black Panther just played a part in that, right? And so
he had the smallest part in that movie,
right? But I think that's what's going to happen with this Batman in a way. I think this is going to be about Penguin and the Joker and Catwoman and Gordon and all these other people.
Especially this being what they already said, this is year 1, year 2 of Batman.
It's year 2. Yeah, year 1.
Year 2, year 1. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, Everborn. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think that what Matt Reeves is doing is he is walking a delicate tightrope between the sort of dark, dour, and earnest Batman from Christopher Nolan, and then the sort of fantastical Batman that could potentially, I know Superman's not in this world, but I think Superman could live in a world that Matt Reeves is setting up. I think they can build out something.
I can't see it.
It's tough.
I'm not saying he's going to be next to Henry Cavill.
No. I'm just saying, like, the way I think that the way that they're building this world, it almost seems to me like they're going extremely grounded. Like, look at his car, look at his boots. Look at his outfit. Look at his like. It looks like he put it together. Like he went to an army surplus store.
It seems more grounded than even Nolan's world.
But Gotham doesn't feel like a real place to me.
Sure, but you're right. And I think that's where you're correct in bridging that when you say they're bridging the gap.
Yeah, he has the worst Batman costume.
Yeah, it seems that Gotham itself is more fantastical.
He'll probably have a difference too. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's no big deal. It seems like Gotham is more fantastical, like you're describing, and it's not a real place. But Batman himself is very grounded, even more grounded than Nolan. All the characters just seem to be people. Will they even call him Batman?
Right.
Will they call him Batman?
That's what they call it. He is the knight.
Look at what we've seen of the Riddler so far. It's not like he's in a giant blimp with a question mark going, "I'll get you, Batman." You know what I mean? Like he's just a dude, with just kind of hanging around filming like YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? And like torturing, doing whatever the hell he's doing. I
will say this. I do love the fact that he said that he's making this a detective movie. The one thing I felt. Like Batman is a tactician, like he's a strategist. He's consistently not even 3 or 4 moves ahead of people. He's way beyond that. Did you guys see it was DC the Doom animated movie where he was responsible. I don't want to
Justice
ruin
League
it.
Doom, right?
Yeah,
I saw that movie, but that movie is heavily inspired by JLA 14, right?
Right.
And that comic is super interesting because in the end of it, the Flash, in order to fix all this shit that got ruined, but he has to run so fast that he becomes the bolt of lightning that hits himself in the past to turn him into the Flash. It's so crazy.
What I was trying to suggest is Batman, for some reason, they've never showed that side of him, like that actual genius side that he also is. He's not just Batman. He's also somebody that's, consistently, thinking and going ahead and
he's
already
smart.
preparing. He's smart.
He can take down
level.
Let me ask you guys,
the dark side.
Think about this. Half the time he's not on the side of a building.
Exactly.
Half the time he's in front of a computer in the Batcave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me ask you guys specifically to your point. Specifically to your point about how he's a tactician and how he's like that has not been shown. So far, what I've seen of this, he seems more emotionally driven and more like loose cannon than smart tactician. I want to see how they thread that needle because he just seems like a crazy loose. Look at the teeth, man. Look at the teeth.
I know the teeth. Asante,
you can't make me unlook at that.
Asante,
he doesn't seem like the type. He doesn't seem like the type that would be that tactician, that smart. It seems like Nolan could have gone there because his Batman was that he had that mindset. He just never used that muscle.
Nolan's Batman was more philosophical. Right.
No, but
this
is my point.
This is more of a detective story, and the visual element is that it seems like a play off the movie Seven. And I'm going to bring that.
100%.
I'm going to bring that up later. But Mag, you're trying to say something.
No, I got to get this in because I wanted to piggyback off what Asante just said there. Like he seems more of a loose cannon. Like I've heard the joke. I heard it yesterday. I was watching Kevin Smith, and he's like he puts the goth in Gotham, right? So he seems like that kind of guy where he's just kind of like, I don't give a shit if I die. I just want to beat up a bunch of people till I die. Like like that like whole like sad goth kind of vibe. And yes, he seems more suicidal. He seems more crazy. And he seems more out of control is the word I want to use.
Out of control, exactly.
Right? Yeah. Now here's the thing. I think that he is like that until he has that sit down with Riddler.
Yeah.
And I think that the Riddler matures him. And I think that Riddler is smart enough to know that Bruce Wayne is just as smart. And he's like, it's kind of like the very first season of Dexter. You know, when you guys remember that? When Dexter's brother there, you know, spoiler alert, when Dexter's brother put the thing in his freezer and he's like, I know you're smart enough to play with me. And then Dexter grabs the thing and he goes, I want to play too. I think that the Riddler knows that Batman / Bruce Wayne is smart enough to be on his level because he is all the way up here, right? And he hasn't been able to find an equal. And I think he knows he has the potential to do it, but he needs to push him over the edge to get him to realize his potential so that all of a sudden they will have a battle of minds later on. And I think that's what the Riddler wanted from the beginning.
I want to make a prediction real quick, right? Now, remember we said they're doing a play off the movie 7, right?
Yeah.
And Paul Dano's Riddler is basically going to be like Kevin Spacey's
100%, yeah.
Right? What that means is, though, if Batman or Batman is the detective, then he needs to lose someone close to him.
Yep. Does that mean
who is that going to be? I don't think I don't no. My money is on Gordon.
No chance. No way. Not that.
He's not close to Gordon yet.
I'm gonna tell you why.
What about Alfred?
No. Alfred can shake. He can throw down though. You can tell because if you watch a bit of the trailer, he's got a cut right under his eye, and he's got a bruise up on his temple.
Yeah, they're going on off of War Hero Alfred.
Yes, the War Hero Alfred. Yeah, so he can throw down.
But wouldn't he be the only one besides his parents? Wouldn't he be the only one that Batman could lose to a point that would drive him that crazy? Nobody else is that close to Batman besides Alfred.
How about the scene where you see Bruce looking at that puzzle enigma, if you were, on the ground? And it shows the whole buildup of all those different things. It says like the fault of my parents or something like that. And then whatever else. And then it starts piecing it together that I think they've done this in a couple of other Batman stories before, where it actually shows that eventually that Bruce has realized that his father was just as bad as everybody else because he was in bed with the Falcones.
Right, that's part of
right.
Did you guys play the Telltale games also?
I think that's what it was. I think it was the Telltale game.
Yeah.
And I think it might be a play on that, where maybe the Riddler, who knew the whole history, who clearly knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and now he's screwing with him.
I don't think he knows that.
I think he does.
I think he knows about the Wayne side, and I do agree with you. I think there's going to be a deeper story about the Wayne family that we're going to uncover as the movie goes on, and so is Batman, Bruce Wayne, and I think that's what's going to kind of also set him over the edge about him thinking, hey, I don't know everything about the city. I need to step my game up.
That's more Court of Owls, right?
Or his father. I think his father, he's holding on to all this anger since he was a child about how his parents were murdered and this and that, only to find out that his father's a complete douchebag. And now he can't hold on to the same anger the same way, and it drives him mental. It tears him apart emotionally. And I think that's what the Riddler's trying to do. And I think now he hits a crossroads of, I can't go after people just simply because my parents got murdered. I don't know. I just think they're going to emotionally tear him apart.
Now, I think that there's risks here in telling the story like this because the tone feels similar to Nolan's movies, right?
True.
And even that scene where he's like,
when he's in the club or wherever where the lights are flashing, that should happen in a Nolan movie.
No, but even worse though. Yeah, but these fight scenes are way better than Nolan's because Nolan's fight scenes
are way better because Nolan's stuff is 1, 2, 3. Punch. Kick.
I get really strong Daredevil.
This is some of the worst fight choreography ever.
Like how brutal the hand-to-hand combat looks and how closely shot it is. You know what I mean? It feels pretty grounded in that way.
Now,
I was gonna mention something, Everborn, because I was agreeing with you when you were talking about Gotham and how everything feels so grounded and things like that. I think that's the one thing that they miss on when they work with Batman is I think ultimately kind of like you guys mentioned, like Batman 89, like it had that animated series, right? It had like that feel of Gotham. We have to remind ourselves that these characters are comic book characters, right? And then they have these amazing like.
And Billy D. Williams was Commissioner Gordon.
So speaking of which,
abilities,
I want to address something.
They limit themselves, man. They limit themselves by grounding these movies so much. You know what I mean? Not
but
to
I feel like
to compare like. I know it's tough like to compare. DC is very dark, gritty, and things like that. But Marvel, in my opinion, with Iron Man, the first Iron Man, the thing that kicked it off, I think they did it perfectly. They try to keep it grounded at some level, but ultimately they still kept that comic book feel that, you know, this is all, and there's a limitless amount of possibilities that can happen in this world. Whoa. I think if you bring that into this world, you don't feel that. You know, everybody is, a lot of people compare, the Riddler now to, you know, the Zodiac and things like that, but they could have explored other venues. You know, I know I don't know if you guys have watched Hush yet or even read about it, but you see that side of it as well. But obviously that couldn't happen here yet, but potentially something like that could lead on to the future. But I think they just ground the Batman movie. So I think just because of Nolan's success with Batman, that's like their safe route. They're just gonna keep him grounded. They're gonna keep him on this real world. And I think if there was someone, and hopefully Matt Reeves is doing this, and maybe we'll figure something else by the end. Maybe he is trying to thread that needle, but like you said, like nobody sees Superman existing in this world. Everybody,
I can't see it.
Everybody there just seems like they're just, you know, people walking around the world that bad things happen to them. And you know, you have highly intellectual individuals like the Riddler, that something happens to him as well, and he decides to go down this route. Nothing there feels like it could potentially be more than just a Batman movie.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I feel like they mixed the character Riddler with Scarecrow. Like the way he looks and even the stuff that he's doing, that feels very Scarecrow-ish.
Let me
like putting fear into the public and stuff, right? Because you don't know who's next. Like he could just pick anybody up. Yeah, I can see that.
Could you see this Batman with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker?
Not right now because we haven't really seen it, but there is a needle to be thread there. I mean, they are doing very much. That's right.
Well, no, I mean they're not.
The logistics would be weird, but still.
They're not in the same universe, and he would be old and gone by now.
Yeah. I was going to say the
Joker movie was like something that I kind of I liked how they explored that movie, but also the Joker character. He's also like in itself, he's also like a mastermind in one way or another. He knows how to, and I think the only level of brilliance that Joker showed in that movie, everything else. His dialogue was on point. The way he, you know, his
mannerisms and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. But the only time that I saw him be Joker was when they go into his apartment and he knows he turns exactly. So he turns around and he locks the door because he knows what's about to happen and he already saw the situation happen. You know what I mean? Before anything even occurred. So that was just like, yes, that's Joker right there.
Yeah.
Everything that was the best scene in the whole movie.
And I was just like, yeah.
And I did not.
It was all downhill from there, but that movie was pretty boring. And it was a lot of paint by numbers taking from old, you know, De Niro movies.
Yeah. King of Comedy.
Yeah. Now, okay, so
Taxi Driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the other thing is I do think that the way this world is being set up, like I could picture this Batman with the CW Superman and Lois show, believe it or not.
What? Now that is weird. No. That I cannot see that at all. What are you talking? Please elaborate, good sir.
No. It's just I don't see him standing side by side with Henry Cavill. I don't see.
No. That's
no. Henry
The
Cavill's
whole
in a different
fact
universe.
that they had
It's a different
Ezra
world.
Miller on the Flash show or whatever, the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, sets the precedent for that to happen.
Oh no,
Right,
I'm sure it could happen,
that.
but it's just the idea of them standing side by side. The Cavill's Superman verse seems like such a different universe.
I'm not talking about the Snyder.
Oh, you're talking about any Superman at all?
No. I'm talking about specifically the
Man
Superman and Lois.
Oh,
just from watching the first episode.
No,
have you watched?
No, you're being presumptuous.
You're being presumptuous.
I mean, maybe it gets stupid. I don't know. I mean, I expected that he got stupid.
I mean, after this movie, like we mentioned, this is year 1, year 2. They could potentially see how well this does and kind of change.
They could recast Superman.
I want to go on a little bit.
If you start off here, ground level, with the rest of us, and then you start all of a sudden in the 2 and 3, you start bringing it up to this whole other, almost not,
folks might not appreciate it.
It's not going to be the same.
Right, like, let me add to let me counteract your point because I knew that was coming. Never forget that Fast and the Furious started as them robbing DVDs.
Yes, oh, come on.
And now
Everborn's right. Everborn's right. It started off as just like a bunch of it was just like this no pun intended street level kind of organization thing going on. All of a sudden they got magnets on F-16 fighter jets. In Dubai or whatever the hell.
This is specifically
and Vin Diesel's wife beater has never got one drop of dirt on it in 10 fucking movies.
Don't you know why he's got all the crew with him? His crew just carries a bunch of beaters with them, just in case he needs to change between scenes. What?
Beaters for the family.
All right, now the other thing though, and Marvel is not immune to this either, because like we said, Iron Man started off, even though it's Iron Man and he has that suit, it was still grounded in a way. Once the MCU started doing this nanotech bullshit, it's almost like they jumped the shark. It's good, but like, look at Infinity War, and that's my favorite movie in the whole MCU, right?
Yeah, me too.
They literally, just because they want to deliver a line, use nanotech to take off their mask.
Yeah, it took so they went too far.
At each other, right?
You're absolutely right.
And to be all over the place like that. Yeah, they're paying them, so they need to take off their masks. And so I think you can build out from a world where you have this dude in an iron suit to where we're across the galaxy and Infinity Stones and snapping, and now we're at
what I'm thinking though is they would all be newly recast, rethought of characters.
Yes,
it would be none of the
100%,
existing.
100%.
Now that would be weird.
You guys, go ahead, brother. I was going to say, you guys played all the Arkham games, right?
Yes.
I have, yeah.
For me, one of the Arkham, one of the side stories in the Arkham game, which actually it kind of like lines up perfectly with this movie. Do you remember little side missions with Hush?
Yeah,
and he was leaving bodies.
Yeah.
And then he would leave notes, and then you had to kind of solve it to find the next body and this and that, whatever. And it was like this whole time. I found that more fascinating than the main story. And it almost feels like this is where Matt Reeves' universe lives. I think it feels like this, what presumably trilogy is living in that side quest, so to speak.
Like cat and mouse games with the villain, if you will, cat and mouse games.
And that's why Batman Begins was my favorite Batman. I liked it because it stayed in one area. You know what I mean? It didn't go off into these crazy tangents. It was an actual guy. And then the villain was just a guy. He wasn't some monster out in space or anything like that, whatever. It seems like Matt Reeves is sort of keeping that. I cannot, I understand what Everborn's saying with Iron Man. Look at Iron Man. Iron Man made a suit after the cave. He made a suit in his R&D lab made with real iron and steel and all that kind of stuff. And then 3 movies later, he's punching a purple guy in space.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand that point. However, that's the MCU.
Yeah.
This is specifically Batman, a borderline early 20s Batman, maybe mid 20s at maybe best. I can't see him going toe to toe with with anybody else fantastical, or even like a Killer Croc or anything ridiculous.
Yeah, that world, in that world, it doesn't seem like in that world he is the scariest thing anyone has ever seen. There's no one bigger or scarier than him.
Right.
And if you introduce a Superman, that'll devalue his brand immediately.
I think so. I think you need to keep with like a Zaz, a Hush.
Yeah. Yes, it needs to be psychos of the real world. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay, now
and I think it's like I said, it's a missed opportunity. If you looked at the Black Adam, not to go off a little bit of a tangent, but the Black Adam trailer, that little teaser that we got, I thought they merged that perfectly. It's dark. You can see that it's going to be a dark movie, but they're still throwing elements over there. They're throwing magic and the way that he just crushes that guy's neck.
You hear the woman say
vaporizes him.
You heard that.
And you heard that. It was.
You know how many arguments I had about that? They're like, no, nobody said
I have,
Shazam.
I
I'm
have
like,
one
she
question.
said Shazam.
She said Shazam, yeah.
What did she
I have
say?
one question, guys.
Said Shazam.
One question about Batman before we possibly move on. And we don't see it.
I have a thing to go before we move on. But go ahead.
Sure. We don't see it this time around, right? But last time we saw Catwoman's almost costume, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know, but I did not like it. It's basic. She basically took like a face mask and cut it out, and you could see the little pokey. I'm actually looking at it right now. Yeah. Although I appreciate the real groundedness of this world,
like the
kind of like Nolan's representation of it better, because she was actually a professional, if you will. She's a professional like thief, and you could see this is the outfit of a thief or whatever.
Right.
What she did there, what they did for her there, it seemed. I don't know. I would like to know what you guys think. Do you think that that's where they're going, or was that just, hey, we wanted to show you guys something, and eventually she'll also get something more?
I'm jumping in on this.
Depends maybe how her and the relationship, evolves. Maybe he hooks her up with something. Who knows?
My biggest criticism about this trailer in general, and it will tie into directly what you're asking, Asante, is that my biggest criticism of any Batman, whatever movie it is they show too much of him and too much light and the characters.
In light, yeah.
And I do not like that. I don't want to see the details of the suit.
Yep.
I do not want to see every zipper on Catwoman's costume. I don't care how hot she is. Okay? Doesn't matter which one is playing her. Okay? I don't want to see
strong Eartha Kitt vibes.
Yes, I do get that Eartha Kitt vibes. Yeah. So I don't want to see it. I actually sit back and thought about it when I saw this new trailer. It reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises, and that actually pisses me off. And I loved Bane. I hated Batman in Dark Knight Rises.
What do you mean?
I liked it. I thought he was terrifying. Yeah, of course.
Oh, man. Somebody's got to do that.
Of course.
And, check the DMs for my comparison shot that I just showed between the two Batwomen.
Great. I will. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah, continue.
You know how ridiculous? Okay, like the last scene, one of the last scenes where they have the big battle at the end. You got all the Bane's dudes, and you got all the cops, and then you got Batman
marching through the street,
effing daylight, standing
on
next to
the side of the police. We can get into this Batman slander.
Stop!
I really not.
No, but have y'all actually ever heard
down the street with?
Have y'all ever heard his complaints about Batman? Have you guys ever heard his fundamental issue? It's an interesting complaint.
I've heard it. It
is genuinely an interesting complaint.
It actually is interesting. But the thing is, can you imagine you're standing next to this clown and you look over
in a full suit? And you're just like, bro, it's summertime, man. It's 85 degrees. What the hell are you doing?
It's like, what are you doing? We all can see you. You're wearing this ridiculous rubber suit. You're in the daytime. Like, don't you feel stupid?
See, for Catwoman, I don't have a problem.
When it comes to the costume, I'm sorry. I'll just mention this real quick. I think somebody on the chat mentioned it as well. Eternal mentioned it. These are them. Like, we may see a different suit by the end of this movie,
right?
Because this is year 1, year 2. They're still new at exactly what they're doing. I think they're climbing the ranks together. You can see that what's the actor's name that's playing Riddler? Paul Dano?
Paul Dano, yes.
Yeah. Paul Dano, yeah. They're all right there. Same level, same age. They're gonna grow together, right? They're gonna evolve, and right now we're seeing how they're starting. By the end of this movie, we might even see another bat suit, but I would have possibly, not sure. Maybe even Catwoman has one as well.
I don't think so.
So, like I'm saying, I don't know, but maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe it is too grounded. I will ask after we finish this. I'm still not sold on Robert Pattinson. Man.
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, before we get into that, I guess we could say that Pattinson is wearing hockey pants.
Oh my God!
Who gets it? Who gets it? Who gets it?
Yeah, of course I get it.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
With my cold, I'm actually probably starting to sound. I actually told that too. Yeah. So, anyways, here's the thing. This is what I was trying to get at. I didn't like the thing I didn't like about the trailer is that it showed too much of all the characters, whereas they do so much better in the shadow, in the dark. You barely see them. I don't want to see Pattinson standing on the top of the building with the sun rising, and he's just standing there like this. I
think that's the sun going down there.
Eh?
No, I agree.
Well, I mean, maybe he had a
But in the dark,
though.
he probably looks scary as hell.
Yeah,
Or
because Batman's always supposed to be fundamentally about the dark and scaring people. Coming into the light just ruins everything.
Yeah,
the
light
shot
ruins everything.
Like waiting for it to get
and
dark.
same with Catwoman. Imagine Catwoman slinking around in the dark, probably scare the shit out of you. You're going like, what the hell is that?
The shot that I didn't like was Dirty Batman.
Yeah,
it felt
I didn't
weird.
like that shot where he's staring up.
It
looked like Batfleck in what was it called? In one of those. Remember, he had the flashbacks in the Justice League and whatever. And
okay. Now I want to ask a sort of a philosophical question to everyone. Now, there is often a complaint that the MCU feels very samey and formulaic, right? And that is because they feel the same because they're meant to feel like they're all in the same world, right? And
every 6 months or so, some purple thing comes out of the sky, and it's like, oh, it's a beam of light. Call the Avenger.
Right. Now, so that's a complaint about the MCU, and they said that basically it is it sort of lacks creativity. You'll get a hit every now and again, but a lot of it is just more of the same. Now, it seems like what Walter Hamada is trying to do, and let me finish this thought. What Walter Hamada is trying to do is say, we're going to lean into the multiverse. And they're both leaning into the multiverse, but Marvel's multiverse approach is with timelines, and it is still more focused because there is a single story thread that can branch out.
Very connected.
Right. The DC multiverse is not very connected, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
it's very much a way to explain away inconsistencies or multiple characters. Yeah.
Right. But what people say is that it allows them to
more freedom.
To more creative freedom because they don't have to adhere to existing timelines and all these other things, right?
They successfully turned Marvel's success into one of the nooses around their neck.
Well, this is the point I'm getting ready to make. Now, the thing is this. The reason Marvel has been able to be as successful as they are is because you know what you are getting coming in. Right? You can expect a certain level of quality. Now, some of them may be on a 7.5 and others may be like a 9, but you know you're getting at least a certain level of quality. And you know one of your favorite characters will
That's what I'm thinking.
will show up.
Cotton's on there with me. He knows what I'm talking about. We're looking at you there, Captain Marvel.
All right. All right. So now so take that for what it is, right? But that level of knowing what you're getting coming in allows for Kevin Feige and his team to actually introduce more interesting characters in the biggest way, right? So they can do an Eternals that feels, from all reports, very different from anything that's in the MCU, but you trust it. They can do a Guardians of the Galaxy, which no one would have thought would have worked, but because of the success of the MCU, people will go along with it and then give it a shot.
And even story threads are laid to the point where the Eternals won't really have to do that. They'll just go, remember what you saw there? Yeah, we're adding this to it.
Right.
They do a tremendous job. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on a minute. So they're able to do that, and that actually allows them to bring us more interesting characters on the large screen in the most fantastic way with the biggest budgets possible, because there's a certain level of trust there. The problem with DC's approach, all this approach that allows more creativity, is you do not know what you're getting from franchise to franchise. Batman
Isn't that exciting?
Hold on a minute. It is, but Batman will feel very different from Shazam. Shazam will feel very different from Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2 will feel very different from Black Adam. And Wonder Woman 3 will hopefully not be trash as Wonder Woman 84. But the point is, they have to build that up every time.
Every time. They have to retell that origin story every time.
I think the word you're looking for is continuity and legacy is what the way that Marvel does it.
Right.
They have a vision. They know. They have a plan.
I know somebody, by the way, who's seen what's infamously known as the Kevin Feige spiderweb. You heard of it?
Right.
Oh,
the Kevin Feige spiderweb. He has
a wall. On the wall. Yeah.
And he writes on the wall, and every single movie and every single character, and it shows how all of them are related like a family tree. Mm-hmm. He's been working on that for almost 20 years.
Yeah, he had a vision.
Like 6 years before Iron Man came out. And he says that he's got a plan all the way to 2040.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. One thing, I just want to finish this point, though.
I'm just saying that's what I'm getting at, like the continuity of it. You know what I'm saying? So people, it's not just trust. It's also the fact that they will bring up stuff that you've already seen and enjoyed.
Yeah, they have a table of context that's always there.
That's what I was trying. Also context.
I get you. Go ahead.
Right. So ultimately, to finish this point is the problem with this sort of freeing up the directors to tell these stories, which is a great thing. Mm-hmm. The double-edged sword of that is that they are less likely to take risks. So they're doing their biggest characters and they're relegating the more wild characters like Doom Patrol to
the TV shows,
the small screen, right? And so this is why we will end up getting more Batmans. And because Aquaman did $1 billion, we'll get another one, and we'll get more of the same. They're doing like 6 different Batman projects because they know Batman sells, and they keep having to come back to him because that is what brings in the big bucks.
If I see Pearls get pulled one more friggin' time, if I see Murder Avenue or Rose. Come on, people.
So, you know what, though? You guys are getting 3 Batman in 1 year. You realize that, right? You're getting Pattinson, Batfleck, and you're getting Michael Keaton all in 1 year.
Yep. And then the following year, you're going to get the Batgirl movie on HBO Max, and then the Gotham series, and then the the Batman,
the new
Batman animated series.
And by
the way, quick aside, what do you think of them ears of that new Batman series? I have a little bit of a problem with that thing. It's more like a reindeer.
Let's see.
I wasn't a big fan of that.
It looks like a reindeer. I'm sorry.
That's how he originally looked, though.
But I like the other one better. The animated.
So my point is, they're going to keep reverting to Batman and the characters that work because those are safe, and that is actually less creativity.
Yes,
right?
100%.
Yeah. So is it? And I'm not saying everything.
Superman movie.
Right. I'm not saying everything needs to be a connected universe, but I think DC should be. DC and Marvel, and that's it.
Hold on. What about what's his name there? The vampire one. That's coming out. That's pretty off the wall for Jesus Christ. That's Marvel. Never mind. Yeah. My bad.
I mean, I would argue that DC
He's like, ooh, got him.
No, I thought, and then like Lobo or something. I don't know.
I
get the fat guy from Stranger Things. He could be Lobo.
I really wish Jason Momoa wasn't Aquaman, so he could be Lobo.
Yeah, that's why I said he couldn't do it. But like, you know the guy's name, the guy from the
Lobo CG.
He kind of looks like Lobo already. He
already looks like Lobo. Yeah.
They could maybe do someone like Carl Urban or somebody for Lobo. I feel like.
All right, I want to get.
But Lobo's supposed to be like really, really huge.
You're right.
I want to get.
You had a point you wanted to make. Please make your point.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that shows you the level, like exactly to your point. The vision, they had a plan. Like Kevin Feige has the spider web. You know, they have all their context lined up. They know where this universe is going, and that to me allows them to take more chances. How many people actually heard about the Eternals? Like, not a lot, right? And I guarantee you that a lot of people are going to go watch this movie and,
on track to be the biggest one ever. Yeah.
And then it's on track. How many characters have they turned from, C-listers, even D-list characters that they
Iron Man.
Dude, Iron Man is
all
a
of the Avengers.
Iron Man, when they came out, you were about to make my
comics as a kid.
Right. So Iron Man, like you're about to say, Mag, he wasn't. Not a lot of people even knew about him when they.
I knew of him. I knew of them. I saw the covers.
I used to watch the cartoons.
I saw the cartoons as well.
Right.
I definitely watched all the cartoons, but never read those comics. I just read Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk.
I mean, I read
we knew the standards, right?
Exactly.
You know, but like even Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knew who the hell they were.
Exactly.
Or when they showed the last minute scene in the very first Avengers where they show Thanos just go, that's it, right?
Nobody knew who Thanos.
And everybody goes, who the fuck is that guy? Nobody knew who he was.
Nobody that did.
And at the time, he looked more like Ivan Ooze than anything else anyway. So
I definitely had that comic.
You made me choke on my water.
And now, by having the multiverse, this is just going to expand on what they can do, man. They're going to introduce so many characters. And DC, like I said, they limit themselves because they shoot themselves in the foot consistently. They build these characters who could potentially be in the bigger world, and they ground it too much. And they don't allow themselves to expand their own worlds. And so, like your point, Everborn, they have to start from the beginning. So, like you guys mentioned, do you see this Batman universe alongside the Shazam universe? No, probably not, right? Black Adam's universe? Probably not. You know, Aquaman's? No. So they'll have to either, you know, pivot or do some.
It seems to me that the people who make Marvel shine in the movies department need to be hired by DC, and then they can borrow the animation department because they got animation on lock. They just don't have the real movies on lock.
You know,
they were supposed to get Geoff John. What's his name?
Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns. Yeah, to be the Kevin Feige of DC.
Yeah, but that dude's got issues.
He tried that.
He's exactly.
They tried it, but Jeff Johns was too volatile of a person.
And he's also toxic these days.
Exactly. So what happens? They go back to exactly what they were comfortable in doing. They go back to exactly what's familiar to them. Exactly.
So I do want to finish the Batman thing because I want to talk about some of the other trailers from DC. So just any final thoughts on the Batman?
I think Cyber's time is also pretty limited. Am I wrong?
Yeah, my time is up. So I'll go real quick. I'm not sold on Robert Pattinson as Batman yet. I think when he moves in the suit, he's a little too stiff for me. Hopefully that will go.
Not stiffer than Christian Bale, but go ahead.
And he hasn't sold me on his Bruce Wayne yet.
With
but
Austin Powers' teeth. I'm sorry.
He just listen. I hope he does great. I hope the movie is a success. I saw him on Tenet, and I was like, oh, maybe he can pull it off. Maybe he can pull it off. It was real smooth in that movie, but this Bruce Wayne is just I don't know. You know, we'll see.
Batman.
Okay. Well,
exactly.
I do want to put some respect on Robert Pattinson's name.
Yeah,
because you can look at him.
I didn't say that. I said Batman and Bruce Wayne.
No. That's fine. What I'm saying is, look at him in Good Time.
Good Time.
Look at him
Lighthouse.
in the Lost City of Z.
Yeah.
Yes, the Lighthouse.
Awesome.
He's an actor's actor,
sure,
right?
For sure, he's an actor's actor, no doubt.
You know, they got a lot of time to work with. I mean, the running time is 2 hours, 44 minutes. So this is going to be a big movie. So he's going to have a lot to do. He's going to have a lot of scenery to chew up.
And
right?
unlike any other Batman before him, he did not do any training for this. He said no.
We didn't see much Bruce Wayne in the trailers, really.
Yeah, you don't.
They're like, when we see him without the cowl, that doesn't mean he's like Bruce Wayne as he presents Bruce Wayne to the public.
No.
That's just him without the cowl on.
It looks like he just took the cowl off because you can see the eye makeup still on him and stuff.
We did see him in the funeral.
If he's dirty, it's because he's trying to be incognito.
Yeah, Matt Reeves said this is before he created the persona of Bruce Wayne. Right? Because Bruce Wayne is a man.
Bruce Wayne is his persona.
Right, like he is all Batman. That's all that's left. He's a shell.
So if that's the case, then won't that also mean that it'll take a while before that world's greatest detective finds its way to the surface? He's kind of more emotional right now.
I think it's part of
the course of the movie, like I was saying earlier.
Realizing he's going to have to be a detective. That's kind of like what The Long Halloween is, and with
the
Riddler,
only way
he comes up against someone that he can't just beat down. You know, he's got to outsmart these people. There's more.
You know, as you guys are speaking, the whole story is developing in my head now. You guys are absolutely right. He starts off that petulant, emotional id Batman, and over the course of the film, he discovers that he needs to grow, his skills in order to defeat some of these people.
The Riddler's going to shape him so that because I think the Riddler sees, like I was saying earlier, I think the Riddler sees potential in him, and he's like, I need somebody on my level, and I feel like you are that person or whatever, because you got to be some kind of something to be doing what he's doing, right? And to have all these gadgets and flying around and doing all this and solving crimes, and he's like, I think this guy might have the chops to be able to face against, because there's one thing about really smart people, they're very narcissist. So narcissistic, excuse me, I couldn't say it right. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like the vibe. And I'm telling you, I think that this movie is all about how the Riddler matures him into a man.
Because he has to be a detective to beat. He has to become a detective in order to beat the Riddler.
Beat him.
That's what I'm saying. So instead of that raging teen with toys and gun, or whatever he has. Would you ever see Batman before Everborn walking in a hallway with his arms out while they're shooting him with machine guns? That's an angry son of a bitch.
When Darth Vader.
Definitely like this. He's taking shots, and then he nobody does.
Well, let me ask you a question. That didn't bother you that the bullets didn't even knock him back at all?
Knock him back.
Or how about the fact that maybe one of the guys could have shot him in the mouth? Maybe in his
face.
Well, he says,
just angle it up a little bit.
Right there.
Batman says he put the logo on his chest in Dark Knight Returns. So that they aim for it. I mean,
so they aim for it.
Yeah.
To be fair, they were shooting him in the dark, so it was only lighting up that hallway.
Also, I'll also be fair that when you get weapons training, they teach you to shoot center mass.
That is
because it is harder to get somebody in the face. But that was close range. They could have shot that motherfucker in the face. Now, I do have one final question on this, and this one goes to LeVar. Do you think the Batman will be better than Dune?
Hell yeah. That's a silly question.
Leading the witness, good sir. Leading the witness. What are you doing?
All right. Cyber, how much more time do you have?
I gotta go. They just texted me right now. I gotta get in the Zoom meeting. Cool. But I had fun. I'll just say this real quick. I love the Black Adam teaser trailer. I don't know what's going on with that Flash.
I was there for it, bro. I was there for it.
I think I would have liked it more. I just don't like that Flash. I don't like him as the Flash.
I like him.
You do? You prefer the gold boots? You prefer the gold
boots? I like him as a person.
I don't like the cowl. His cowl looks stupid.
You like him as a
baggy on the nose, on the butch of the nose.
I kind of liked him as the actual a character. I think he's interesting. Like he seems vulnerable. He seems like he's always trying to, please everybody. Like he seems like a young kid, who's got extraordinary powers.
I need great.
Here's a quick question.
Yeah, I almost cried.
Here's my quick question.
Why is that Flash?
Is the Flash that we basically got to know in the what do you call it, the Snyderverse? Is that the Flash whose movie will be here, or is it just the same actor?
Before we answer that question, hold on. Before everybody slow down. Cyber, I know you got to go, and I don't want us to keep you. So I want you to do your outro, and then you can answer that question if you want. But I know I want to get you out of here officially. So tell everybody where they can find you and everything.
Yep, Cybernox everywhere, Twitter.
Tell them about the Game Pass Club.
Yeah, well, I don't want. I got so much in my hands. I'm a little busy on time on that. So once I get started that again, I will be back to the Xbox Game Pass Club. That's pretty much a book club for Game Pass where we go in we choose a game at random or play as a community, discuss the game, go really deep dive, discuss it.
We gotta do more of that, theories. We really gotta do more of that.
So I love doing that. And the price of entry, it's $10. You know what I mean? So it's very good for everybody to go ahead and participate. But Cybernox everywhere, guys. I had a blast being here, and
you gotta come back, man. You gotta come
back. Absolutely, Monday, whenever I got time. Primetime Gaming. I'll be there on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Mr. Boomsticks XL YouTube channel. But I love this song. I'll come back anytime I have time, guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
And you can also find Cyber at the gun show.
He's always there at the gun show for sure.
No, never. All right, gentlemen. Y'all have a good night. All right,
brother.
Later, chat.
All right. So now,
I need to answer
go
that
back
question.
go back, ask the question again because I forgot.
Yeah. So is the Flash because let me be clear.
And I want to go clockwise. So LeVar, Mag, Top.
Okay. Well, remember we're in different order depending on who's looking at the screen, but you can decide.
That's what I'm saying.
LeVar, me, and then Cotton. Yeah.
Me, it's K. It's you, Steve. Then it's K. Then it's me.
See, mine's different.
Clockwise.
Anyway,
clockwise. It's clockwise.
All I'm asking is, I liked what they, even though everybody had issues with certain issues and whatnot, I liked what Ezra Miller did in the Snyder film. I liked that. Ooh. He was a weird, quirky character, right? But he actually he brought an interesting element to the role. Okay, is this the same guy in his own film, or is this he's still playing the Flash? He's still playing who he is, but the tone will be different, and he may present differently. What do you think? Or is this exactly that dude, that quirky, funny, weird guy in his own movie? Is he the same character?
He's the same character.
Really? That's very interesting. In that case, I actually look more forward to seeing this.
Which Flash do you think is our Flash? The Flash with the kind of made-up costume, or the Flash with the lightning costume?
I think our Flash is the lightning costume Flash, and he picks up the Batman. Oh, I hope you know that, right? I hope I'm not spoiling it. It is Batman's costume that he paints the Flash costume on. It's not actually a costume; it's Batman costume that he then puts the thunder on it for him. So the other Flash is like basically Batman with a but it's interesting. I'm very interested to see how they keep that going outside of the Snyderverse, because it seemed to work in the Snyderverse because it was so dour and so this and so that, and then he would come and bring that levity. Outside the Snyderverse, how does that work? Interesting,
Okay, so
they should have put
I think Mag had something to say. Were you going to say something?
No, I do have an answer on.
I'm sorry. We're going counterclockwise. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're going clockwise. So LeVar, then Mag.
LeVar, you're next. I'm sorry.
I feel like they didn't show us enough because we know all of the stuff that was going to be in it. We know Michael Keaton's in it, so why not show it to us?
Yeah, very weird.
That's the Batmobile under the thing, so why not show it to us? We already saw the concept stuff. We already saw the leak, so why not show it? But I'm still going to watch the movie. Just to see Michael Keaton back in the cowl again, I'm happy for that. But I feel like they should have showed it to us because we already saw it anyway.
I agree 100%. Mag, I think you're next.
Okay, so this is what not my understanding. This is a fact that this actually takes place after the events of the Snyder Cut, not the Justice League theatrical release.
Yeah, Snyderverse.
It is based in the actual Snyder Cut of the Justice League, right? Okay. When he says, "I gotta run faster than time. I gotta run faster than time," and he starts running across the universe, basically, and he's outrunning time. He then realizes that he has the ability to change the mistakes of his past, and that's where it ties into, it's almost like the same idea as like the new Spider-Man movie, but you know what I mean? Like he has the ability to do this at this point. Now, what ends up happening is, yes, he starts dropping off at different other areas, and he finds the other Batman, the 89 Batman. And then also in that, he finds other Flashes, because you see that shot? There's like 3 of them, right? So he's able to find.
There's 2. There's 2 Flash and Supergirl. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. That's right. Sorry. 2 Flash and Supergirl, but there were 3 of them in the shot.
Or is it Superwoman or Super Person? I want to be politically correct.
Super Person.
Now, what I'm thinking is going to happen here is that Michael Keaton is going to stick around, and I think what he's going to do is I think he's going to train Batgirl.
He's going to become the new he's going to be the DCEU's version of Tony Stark.
Yes, and he's going to be doing that, and he's going to train Batgirl for her own adventures, and he's going to be there as well. He'll just show up once in a while, just to, like, hey, do this, do that.
Hold on a minute. One second, though. I thought that it was Ben Affleck's Batman that they said was going to show up on
the is in it too.
Max.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know he's going to be in the Flash. I'm saying they're doing a Batgirl TV or movie on HBO Max.
Yeah, I think Affleck is like writing, producing.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's involved and he's going to be in it.
No, I didn't think he was going to be in it anymore. I thought he was just going to be involved.
I have no idea.
I thought he pushed back. He pulled back and said he wasn't going to train the costume anymore.
This thing. Okay.
Well, he did enjoy himself. I know that he says that his work on the Flash, he says, was his favorite time being Batman. Okay. Was during this film. So that's interesting to me.
So we can finally put to bed and understand that means if this same Flash is continuing in his own movie and everything that happened post Snyder Cut exists, that means that in this world there's a Barry Allen that's Grant Gustin. CW.
I could see that. Yeah.
No, it's a fact. Him. It's a fact because in the movie. He actually crosses over and goes into the CW verse and visits him, like Ezra Miller does.
So it's all canon.
Yeah, Ezra Miller showed up on the CW show as the other Flash talking to the other Flash.
I had brought that up.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Sorry. I'm trying to figure it all out.
I remember you said that earlier. So, yeah. So that's really a thing now. So that CW guy exists. That's very strange.
Well. That would actually make sense now, and that would make sense with like this whole this Batgirl situation that is going to HBO Max. Is it going to be a show or a movie specifically?
I thought it was a show. Am I wrong?
I thought it was a movie, but because I know they're doing a Gotham show, but I thought Batgirl was going to be a movie.
Okay, there's a lot of Bat properties.
We can find Google. This is what I'm saying. Sure. They got to keep reverting back to Batman because they don't want to do a whole universe. But anyway,
I feel you, man.
Anyways, I'm excited for this. I'm interested to see where they're going to take this now. Because the problem is they're gonna have now they got a great director in Andy Muschietti there who made the It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So the guy could work with material, especially like imagine trying to translate like a damn near 1,000-page book like he did for It. Did a great job of that. So
it not so much in part 2, but yes.
Yeah, no, part 1 was infinitely better than part 2. Yeah. But anyways, the thing is. They got to be careful that it doesn't get too convoluted and too ridiculous to the point where people start going, what the hell is going on now? Right. Where are you going to have Earth 1, Earth 2,
I think it
Earth
would
54?
Be if that wasn't the same Flash from Snyder. You know what I mean? It would be too convoluted at that point.
It would be too convoluted at that point, right? Yeah, you're right, Cotton. I think that would be a little bit too crazy. But I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But I'm excited for it. I'm there for it day one. I mean, they're going to take my money. I'm there. So, I'm interested to see where it's going. But, yes, I can confirm that is the case, that it is specifically from the Snyder Cut.
That's very interesting.
So, the Snyder Cut is more so.
And I just read it on Collider, actually, now, because I pulled it up.
Specifically the Snyder Cut?
And comicbook.com is saying that this is not the Justice League. Not a continuation from the Justice League, the theatrical release. It is specifically from the Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means Snyder has influenced a lot of these characters. That means moving
Well,
forward, the next Wonder Woman will be also the Snyder version.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
Isn't it interesting?
And they hate him, like they're shunning him, but he basically has his fingerprints over all of his stuff.
Yeah, but they love money too, right? So true. The thing is, at the same time, though, he did such a great. I thought the Snyder Cut was next to Man of Steel, the best DCEU movie out there.
I agree
by far.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Watch the black
Not everybody does, but I do.
No, I never watched the black and white version, but the only other one that I was going to say that came close, I mean, obviously, Man of Steel is number one for me. I don't care what anybody says. The Justice League Snyder Cut. And then in third place, believe it or not, the director's cut of Batman v Superman I thought was excellent. And
much better than the original cut.
What's that?
So it's much better than the original cut.
Oh, much better. And I think people would have had a lot, just like the Justice League, they would have had a lot better outlook on the movie, right?
Right.
So can we speak broader, since I think we've spoken about Batman and the Flash to death a little bit. Can we speak to the broader
some respect on Colin Farrell as the Penguin?
Yes. I think that will be a breakout role for him because he always reinvents himself. I'm excited to see him really shine.
That trailer.
Yeah, 100%. But there were more trailers there. Like, I know that everybody keeps saying it was trash. Everybody keeps saying 4 hours of trash. 15
enjoy Cam Newton's Superman hats.
People just keep going. And then secondly, the Puma the Puma spots that was in there. Like,
a lot of filler.
A lot of fluff, yeah. What did you guys think of, like, and let's talk a bit. I know that before Cyber left, he spoke a little bit about it. What do you guys think, like, really of the Black Adam stuff? It's been rumored and
wait, hold on a minute. Before we get to Black Adam, I did have a comment that I wanted to make about
Sure, please. Go ahead. Yeah.
This again is the problem with, I think, DC's approach. You do not do a play on Flashpoint Paradox at the beginning of the franchise. The same way you don't do BVS, which is a story about the end of their careers.
Yeah.
And they have had to meet and have had history together like Iron Man and Captain America had. You don't put them again. You can do World's Finest, where they're meeting for the first time, but not this world-ending death of Superman.
You know why they did that?
But I get it. But you don't do Flashpoint Paradox now.
Mr. Still Your Girl thing.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they know
the problem is they've already gone down this road, and the road is broken, but they've gone down it now.
Well,
now what the hell are you going to do?
From here? Like, this is it.
You don't have another 10 years to build it up, though. Ezra Miller before 50, whatever the hell, whatever.
They should drop Ezra Miller and start from scratch, as they always do.
Scripts and directors a bunch of times, but they're so like, who did Ezra, like, what deal with the devil did Ezra Miller make? I was gonna say something different, but this is a family show. But like, really and truly, why are they so held back? What good movie has Ezra Miller been in that worked? Fantastic Beasts?
And you know what? You know what? To your point, Everborn, he even didn't he have that controversy where he beat the hell out of some fan or whatever? And even after that,
even after that,
it's okay though.
A woman.
Really?
They're still sticking by him.
He can do that.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan.
You got a video of that?
He's not a man.
Or his portrayal.
He's a them.
Barry, to be honest.
Oh, Ezra Miller chokes fan? Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Look at
it. It was a real thing.
I'm watching it right now.
It was a real thing.
Yeah. I think why they do Flashpoint and BVS is just because, like, they're just trying to get in quick, without building up the continuity. They know that those are, like, Dark Knight Returns is one of the highest selling, the highest rated Batman comics there is, and so is Flashpoint. So they're trying to, cash in on that. And I think they got to do it the right way. And build these characters up and get up. The reason why those stories are so good is because there's so much that leads to those points, and those are a tipping point for like a long arc that, and then it's just like this climax. It's not, you can't just be like thrown into it. Maybe if it's done well, I mean, remains to be seen. I don't think they've really done it properly yet, but hopefully they can. I want to see a good movie. At this point, I really am I'm invested just to see Michael Keaton. I feel like a lot of people are, but hopefully that they turn the page and you get more out of it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think this just reeks of the same mistakes that they made for BVS, for sure. and I don't think that it will turn out well. And that's all I wanted to say about the Flash.
The mag. I see your time is also limited, good sir.
Yes, sir. I got a double birthday this weekend for the boy.
All right. Very good. Very
good.
My
family won't get together with the other side of the family. They're all paranoid about COVID and all that stuff because they're getting old. They're like, no, we're doing it separate. So I got to have two birthdays. A birthday tomorrow for my side, and then Saturday, birthday for her side of the family.
Lucky
so I got to help her out. Hey? Yeah, it's
lucky him. Hopefully he doesn't get a TV and a remote rather than two separate presents.
Can you imagine? I got to do this 2 times, like one after, and I work both days. So it's work, party.
Hey, that's how life works, man.
Yeah, I know. She's upstairs stomping around. She sent me a message. She's like, I need your help. I'm like, all right, I'm coming. We're talking Batman and Flash. Oh, by the way, before I do go, I just saw the Ezra Miller choking video, and someone put in slow motion. Comment of the century was the first comment in the YouTube chat that said, "Thank God they put it in slow motion because he is the Flash after all."
That's great.
I just like doing this. I'm like, you win the internet for the day, sir.
And anyways, Mag, as you get out of here, do your outro, but just quick thoughts on Black Adam, and then get out of here.
I got to tell you one thing. If there's one man who's more passionate in Hollywood, there's nobody more passionate than The Rock. This guy's been on this project for a decade. And I mean, he's been talking about this since like 2011. I'm not kidding. So he's really been talking. He's really been pushing the studio. Actually, it was him who pushed the studio. But what they ended up doing is that they ended up going with Shazam. And then, of course, bringing in, presumably Henry Cavill there, whatever else. They were going to try and like put it all together. It doesn't seem like that's going to be working out. So now I think that's where The Rock is like, can we finally do my movie? You know, now that he's like one of the biggest stars in the history of Hollywood, right? So the thing is, he's very passionate about it. He's worked so hard on it. My God, you got to see the guy's workout regime. Makes me look like I'm doing nothing.
Oh yeah, I follow.
You gotta
him
get
on
me on
Instagram.
a workout
makes me look
routine, Mag.
Oh, dude, I'll get you on.
I gotta lose some of this COVID weight.
I can get that weight off you lickety split, son. By American Thanksgiving, you'll be in rip roaring shape. You just hit me up. But anyways, Black Adam. It looks like it's going to be kind of scary. It looks like he's going to face. Now, here's the thing, though. I look at him, and he was terrifying. You look at his backstory, like, you know, he was a slave, and then his wife and his children were murdered, and, like, all this rage and everything else. And then all of a sudden, he's put to sleep. And then he wakes up with all these powers, and he's, like, literally filled with this rage and everything else. And they're shooting bullets at him in the trailer, and he's peeling bullets off of him and whatever. And then what does he do? That he, like, literally, like, not melts him, but like sort of decays a man in his hands and all this stuff. Like, I'm like, this guy's serious. Now, can you guys envision this guy going up against Goofy Shazam? I can't see it. Like, what's Shazam gonna do? It's like, all right, I'm a huge tough guy. Let me go beat up an 11-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
That's the same thing how it is in the comics. It's just like he still acts like a kid.
Right, and I cannot see him going up against this Black Adam who seems very, very serious and dangerous. The only person I could see going after him would be Henry Cavill's Superman.
I was about to say that. Yep.
The only one,
and I think that's probably why Johnson was fighting so hard to keep Cavill in that role, because he's the only other one that looks to be on his level, physique-wise, presence-wise. You know, also, now it'll just be weird.
That rage too, man. You watch Man of Steel. That was an angry Superman.
Fun fact:
very angry.
The Rock's ex-wife, is Henry Cavill's manager.
Yeah, still.
Oh, maybe they have a reason to fight then. Who knows what's going on behind closed doors?
And another fun fact: The Rock's ex-wife has the same physique as The Rock. She's like,
is she really? I never see her. I only see his kids.
She is. Talk about the gun show. She is on his level for sure.
Really?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes, and she's supposed to be also very prolific in background. You know, she makes things happen for sure.
Oh, she makes things happen. I know that, but I mean, I only see pictures of him, and I see pictures of his kids. I
look
see
her up. She is. Yeah, she's on his level. Yeah, I think they're business partners now. She's not his manager directly anymore, but they're still business partners. I think they own a football team together. The guy's
his own corporation now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, sure. I got 2 bottles of Terramana sitting right behind me. You know what I mean? The guy's he's a conglomerate. He's like, he became the whole, like Jay-Z did. He created a brand. He started with hip hop. Then he went into like NBA. Then he went into like the liquor business. What was it? Vodka?
Under the tutelage of Vince McMahon.
Tech Nine?
Oh my God. No, I haven't even heard it yet because I was too busy doing the old school thing on what was it? Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. I was way too busy.
We should be talking about that tonight, but I guess
my goodness. Sorry, Big Daddy Kane won that. Just like to point that out.
He did. I can't argue with that.
Come on, man. KRS-One was just screaming for like an hour. I'm like, the guy's gonna have a coronary. He was like, he couldn't keep up, and then I just say Big Daddy Kane comes out with the big pimp hat and everything else. I'm like, oh no. He's got this. Although he was running out of breath at one point. You could tell he's getting old, eh?
As fast as he was rapping, I mean, you know,
he was rapping fast, but he was like,
he was jumping up and down and all that. Like, he has great breath control.
He does.
You know, it's hilarious though when he tried to go over the fence and he had an old man moment. When he went to the crowd, I was like,
old man moment.
Oh man,
like the senior moment. Yeah, it's like, no, you're not young enough. You're not young enough for that anymore.
His whole team was like, oh no, stop this down. Somebody get the gate. And then when he came back out, he stopped and waited for them to open the gate for him.
Hey, smart move. I would have done the same thing. But anyways, yeah. So Black Adam, I'm also excited for it. Is there a release date? Is it 2022?
I thought they said 2022.
Did they?
Or 3? There was a year. I'm not sure I saw the date. I thought I saw a year. Am I wrong?
I'm starting to think the same thing now with Flash and this. They didn't officially have a trailer. Okay, for either one. I mean, it was just like a snippet, like almost like borderline, like a little shot plus some behind the scenes stuff, and then of course the Rock talking and all that kind of stuff. Man. Yeah, just a tease, and I'm like, it was like a tease of a tease,
right?
You know what I mean? And I'm like, at this point, is it actually going to hit that 2022 mark? And when are you going to drop it in the fall? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
it says it's slated for 2022. Right now, there's a release date on Google. At least it says July 29th, 2022.
You know, I'm starting to wonder what's going on right now because, like, look at Disney did. They shuffled their entire Phase 4.
They like to make room for each other.
I'm so pissed off now that like where's Blade?
Yeah,
like where's he going? Phase 5?
Yep.
Yeah, but is
Mahershala Ali is going to be like 60 by the time this movie comes out. It's going to be like Indy Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which they
if that's the case, you might as well bring Wesley Snipes back in the picture.
Jesus Christ, no kidding,
Maybe they're pushing
right?
it back to make it R.
And they're not making it rated R. They did say that. That actually pissed me off. They said they weren't. However, they did greenlight a rated R Deadpool 3 after Ryan Reynolds' sabbatical. Though you know he's going on sabbatical. Did you guys hear about that?
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, he's going on a break. He's finishing his last movie and he's leaving Hollywood for a while. He said. Not for bad reasons. He just says I need to step away and be with my family. So he said he's going to take at least a year or 2 off, and he's going to disappear.
Have all you guys seen Free Guy?
If you haven't seen Free Guy, go watch it. It is better than it has any right to be.
Upstairs. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
better than it has any right to be. It's damn good. If you're a video game lover, you will be expressed like
very
pleasantly surprised. Yeah,
I'm in. I just need the time.
Yes.
So, but speaking of time, gents, LeVar, Asante, Everborn, Cotton, you guys are awesome. That was a great show tonight. Guys in the chat, you guys already know where to find me. I'm at the middle-aged game guy. You know what I'm up to. You know ridiculous stuff that I do and what I'm on. You know the shows I'm on. I'm on Primetime Gaming Monday nights, 7 p.m. Gaming After Dark, 10 p.m. on Tuesday nights. And you can always find me hanging around or else making some ridiculous videos, doing what I do whenever inspiration hits. I'm just waiting for the Pegasus Nation to do something ridiculous so I can clap back. But I just haven't heard. They've been real quiet lately. So, I guess they would be quiet when you don't have a game for 6 months.
Quiet recently. Too.
Yeah, Code's been a little quiet. Yes.
Yeah, because what kind of noise are you going to make when you haven't had a single game in 7 months? However, now that being said, guys, and all joking aside, I will see you guys. I'll see you two on Monday night, and you other gents. It was an absolute honor. I will see you guys. Have a good night.
Mag, thank you so much, man.
Man, it was an absolute pleasure, man. It was a blast. I enjoyed it.
All right. Now I do want to talk about some video games for a little bit. Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. These were at the DC Fandom. I want to start with you, Cotton. What do you think about both of these? Are you excited? And do you actually believe that Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is coming out in 2022? Because I don't.
I don't really believe that that's going to be coming out in 2022, to be honest. I'm in the same mindset with you there. I mean, I love Rocksteady. I love the Arkham games. I'm looking forward to playing it. Whenever it does come out, it's gonna be cool to see them take on a co-op game. You know what I mean? We didn't see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see any gameplay still, so that's why I don't think it's coming out next year. But you never know. I guess
we saw some in-game cutscenes here and there.
Well, yeah,
that's right. There wasn't actually gameplay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just the gameplay. But I know that they put out quality games. The Arkham games have always scored either 10s or really close to a 10 and got Game of the Year and all this and that. So I think they're going to do it justice. I don't think that they will end up killing the Justice League, though. I don't think that will end up happening. But I'm actually more excited for Gotham Knights, if I'm being honest.
Well, Gotham Knights, we've actually seen gameplay for a year ago.
From day one. Yeah. The moment they showed it, they showed you actually playing the thing. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be cool. Just for them to take on the Court of Owls like that. I love that storyline. It's
and Batman's not really dead.
Exactly. He's not really dead. Yeah. If you know Batman at all, you know that he's never really dead. So, I thought they looked pretty good. I liked actually seeing the story trailer for Gotham Knights. It had a nice tone to it. I'm all about co-op games. So, I think they're pretty promising. Both of those studios.
About that, quick question. How do you feel about it being co-op but not 4-player?
What?
It's literally 2-player.
2-player, right?
Yeah, which is really odd when you have 4 great characters right there.
Yeah, that is strange. That is really strange, actually. I haven't really thought about it too much. I guess we only did see them. I didn't know that it was confirmed for 2 players only, but when they showed it off, it was just the 2, right? It was Batgirl.
I think it's been confirmed
Nightwing,
since
right?
then. Yeah, it became a little bit of a talking point about people on that game. Yeah, and I just think it's a missed opportunity. Personally,
yeah, definitely.
You don't think there will be DLC?
Suicide Squad.
Oh, I'm sure there probably will be
for sure when it comes out, because I assume that they're gonna have 4-player co-op. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's definitely something that's a missed opportunity, big time. But personally, I'm more invested in like the characters that are the Gotham Knights than I am the Suicide Squad. Even with the new movie coming out and seeing that, and they're all really, really cool and whatnot. I'm more interested to see like how they tackle Brainiac and tackle the Justice League and the whole scene that's going to be playing out in that game, as opposed to delving and diving straight into Gotham and the Court of Owls and the mystery behind them and uncovering what happened to Batman and just the dynamics you're going to have between Nightwing and Damian and Batgirl. You know, it's just, that's something that really interests me. But I'm not sure how I feel about the gameplay. You know, how with like they had a bunch of hit numbers and it kind of felt like what is it? Like Destiny or Borderlands meets Arkham, like the way that it was like portrayed. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely gonna be there day one just because I'm a stan for Batman. So
hey, he's honest.
No, man, I'm gonna be there.
You guys should check the DM real quick. I just put something in the DM. Not in this, but in Twitter. Literally, breaking news. Check it out real quick. It's kind of crazy, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Want me to tell you what it is?
To Dave Chappelle?
No, not Dave Chappelle.
All I see is something else.
Eggs. No, let me tell you what it is. So there seems to have been an accident on the set of a film, and I guess Alec Baldwin shot a gun and accidentally killed one and injured another, and the one he killed was the director.
Oh my gosh!
When did this happen?
Look in the thing. Like what's her name? Hayna Hutchins or whatever her name is. Randolph just like posted it like seconds ago. I just posted it in the DM for the Real Talk chat. Crazy story just now. And if she posts that, I would, say what you wish about her, but she wouldn't post rubbish. So there you go. And there's even a post from Variety, breaking news.
Yeah, I see it 18 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago.
Oh my God.
Easy, right? Alec Baldwin. It was an accident.
Cinematographer and just director. Oh my gosh.
Was it a gun prop? Was it?
Fires prop gun on set, killing cinematographer, injuring director is what I'm reading right now.
Oh, so she killed the cinematographer and injured the director. Yeah.
Either way, man.
There you go. Just we are on a news TV movie show. So
didn't Bruce Lee's son or Bruce Lee die that way?
That's how he died. Like
same way. That's exactly the same way. Yes. Yeah.
Well, was that Brandon Lee or Bruce Lee?
Brandon Lee.
How did Bruce Lee die?
It's always
somebody poisoned him.
Yeah, so it's always been up for debate, and like there's always been talk.
He said he had a headache. Somebody gave him something, and they say he had a brain edema, like his brain swelled up inside his skull, and he died.
I thought he was out there hanging out with Tupac.
This man coming here with jokes. What's going on? Yeah,
man, that's crazy, man.
Crazy, right? Yeah, that absolutely.
Wild.
Yeah,
that sucks.
That sucks.
Right? Yeah. Imagine being responsible for that.
Way to bring us down.
Family's gonna get millions.
Apologies. I wanted to share the news with you before I let you know. Maybe you want to have something to say about it, but you didn't see it. So there you go.
My prayers.
Yes, and Mr. Joanna Dark is absolutely right.
That's rough.
Brandon Lee died during the shooting of a scene in The Crow. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Similar situation.
Yeah, it was like a blank, but it had a piece of metal in it, and it. Yeah. Okay.
So I apologize for bringing us down. Please continue.
Christ.
Forgive me. The news is the news, man. It's crazy out there. Yeah.
That's really rough to go through. Thoughts and prayers.
I'll tell you who I don't want to rest in peace.
Indeed.
That raggedy bitch Beverly Keane.
Would you?
It was killing you last week. You couldn't remember her name. Like, I even remember your name.
This man just won't let it go. Let it go.
Never. That's gonna be a running joke.
I'm telling you, we're gonna get shirts made. That raggedy bitch.
She was literally like
used to call you
every time she was on the screen. I could not stand her from the start.
Want to throw something at the screen? Get this, Johnny.
Okay. All right. Gotham Knights. What did everybody think? Gotham Knights is the one I think we're going to get next year. So let's. But I do think the storytelling listen, Rocksteady knows how to tell us.
They do.
Let's be clear. But the Suicide Squad looked like they nailed it even more than James Gunn did.
Yeah.
Right. They hit the perfect tone.
And they also solved the problem that Marvel didn't, which was better facial animation than facial rendering, and you didn't have that comparison to characters that exist. And
these characters actually look better than the ones in the movies.
Yep. Right.
Yep. They went delightfly in another other direction. Yes.
And
Superman looks like John Cena.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about the gameplay. A lot of people are saying you got to wait to see game from Rocksteady.
No,
you need to wait to see gameplay.
You'll be really? Fine. That's probably why they didn't show you gameplay, and they showed you gameplay with the other one because Rocksteady's already proven themselves. They good.
Yeah,
this is the person, the people who brought you to Gotham games to begin with.
They redefined.
You ain't got to worry about games. It. Yeah,
for sure. Yep.
So, and I don't even think you get the Spider-Man game we got if it wasn't for
100%. You would not have that same game.
So I'm not worried in the slightest about the game.
I will please shout out Mr. Joanna Dark for saying something I have been saying for a long time. Please give some WB Montreal some credit because Batman Origins was better than people give it credit for. It's actually a damn good Batman game. It wasn't made by Rocksteady, true. But I I played the hell out of that game, and it was really good.
I enjoyed it.
Really good.
I don't think I enjoyed it more than the other three. If I'm
no. I'm not saying that it's better or any of that, but that game was on the level. It was good.
People think it tarnishes the franchise.
Yeah, not at all.
Think so
not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. It was great.
I'm gonna need Matt Booty to utilize his connections and get WB Games over the finish line. But that's a conversation for Saturday.
I'm all on that.
For another day.
All right. So now Gotham Knights. LeVar, what do you think about Gotham Knights? Looks like something you'd play?
You're on mute, brother. Mute.
You're on mute.
He's like,
I have all three of the Arkham. I have three of the Arkham games. I definitely play it.
No, it looks good, and I love that they're trying to turn it into an RPG, and then maybe you can bring in new characters. And
you think Batman's going to show up in it?
Hell yeah, he's going to show up. You know he ain't dead.
Who?
Batman.
Oh, 100%.
Now the question is, will you be able to play as Batman?
I don't know. It's all you're going to want to do. Probably
after you beat the game, maybe, or before then.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the game.
You know something? I don't know if we can spoil this, but until Death's Door came out, Resident Evil Village was my game of the year. And one of the reasons for that, other than it was really well put together, is that in the end, when you play as Chris Redfield and you just feel all like the power that Chris Redfield should have, and it basically turns into a COD game for like one level.
A lot of people don't like that.
I thought it was amazing. I'm like, because I'm running from the zombies and everybody else the whole game, and now I finally can attack them with all the power that I want. And I thought it was so well done. And they didn't make that the whole game, but they just did it in a way where like Chris Redfield fucks. You know what I'm saying? like that's just.
I thought this was a family show. Wow.
Hey, listen, man, you don't get families without no. But anyway, I think if they do something like that with where you play as Batman and he's just like super OP, I would love that. That's why I brought up Resident Evil.
Well, I feel you. Okay, that is an interesting concept. Yeah, I for one am excited for this more than Kill the Justice League because it seems like it's more
because you're getting it first.
Sure, there's that, and it looks like it's more tangible. It looks like they're more gameplay focused right now, and it looks like it's more together. It's more of a complete package right now. Rocksteady will take as long as they need, and of course, when they are done, it will be a masterpiece because they have established themselves
and
as
maybe
a,
they'll
as
be
a
owned
studio
by
that is
Microsoft
capable.
by the time it comes out.
Who knows? But I am really looking forward to the Gotham Knights, and we shall see. You know, I'm hoping that we hear out of nowhere. Oh, by the way, we're allowing for more players. You know, now it's a 4-player co-op.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's what it needs to be. It needs to be a 4-player co-op. It'd be great. But no, I'm excited for it too.
All right, and I do want to finish up because we're getting to the 2-hour mark. Uncharted trailer.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
What did we all think about it?
Before you answer that question, though, show of hands, who has seen the Nathan Fillion fan film?
I've seen it.
I've seen it.
Have you seen the Nathan Fillion fan film, LeVar? Clearly you have not. Okay. I will share you the link, and I want you to watch that at your leisure. I would really actually genuinely like your opinion on it compared to this one, okay? Because to me, I think as good as this one looks, and this looks okay, it looks good, it'll be great. It seems very by committee.
Yeah.
It seems very, this is that scene from the game. Put that in there. And it's just so CG laden, and it just, and I'm not talking about
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed, exactly. I'm not talking about the leak that came out. I'm talking about what they officially showed. Mark Wahlberg is not Sully. No. Mr. Joy in the Dark, tell the truth and shame the devil. Mark Wahlberg is not Sully. Do you know who Sully is? Stephen Lang. You don't know who Stephen Lang is? He's from Avatar. He was the bad guy from Avatar, and he is Sully. Go watch that fan film. Oh my god!
Also in Don't Breathe.
He has many great movies. He has many.
I met him actually, and
did you?
Nothing about Uncharted because I don't have a PlayStation.
True.
Oh, he's a bot.
But even still,
but I have the Nathan action figure though.
No, but even still, as a film, right? You can we'll show you. I'm sure you've seen the new trailer, right? You've seen the whole Uncharted trailer that came out recently, right? Yeah. I'll show you that fan film. It's like 15 minutes. Compare that to the trailer you saw. You will see the difference, and you can tell me that this one's better than the other. It's just honestly like the Nathan Fillion one is the culmination of realizing that game in its realest form. It's like, oh yeah, this is what we want. It is the guy you think he is in the game, but he's realized in actual real life. Whereas this one is kind of like, yeah, he is, but we have to make him younger so we can build a franchise. Yeah, he is, but that it's based on a comic, on a video game, so we have to kind of throw some video game-esque elements in there. It's more to service the consumer that they think will watch it, rather than the vision of some director or some writer who put it together. So it seems to me. That is my thoughts on it.
I mean, I think that this is actually going to be one of the what other video game movies are really successful? I mean, Mortal Kombat that just came out was pretty well received. I feel like by at least people I know that watched it. I didn't. I'm not really big on Mortal Kombat, but I know people that liked it at least more. So
I liked it, but I'm a Mortal Kombat stan, and I can recognize it was trash.
Okay, I feel like this one is going to be very well received just because the cast and because I think it's like an adventure movie. It's like that indie Tomb Raider.
I really hope it fails. I want it to fail so they don't do this anymore.
I don't think it hits the mark at all. Like the casting feels way off, and I mean Nathan Fillion he's greater than, as far as I'm concerned, for playing this role.
Yeah, even though he's older now, still he's better than the original, I think.
And I like Tom Holland as an actor. I think he does a good Peter Parker, and I liked him in that movie that he was in with Daisy Ridley. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Yeah. Where emotions are on the outside.
I hated that movie.
I mean, I liked him in that movie, but I don't know. It just seems kind of cheap to me, just because I think the CGI didn't look that good, and also it's like for anyone who has never played these games, it looks cool, because it's that kind of adventure movie, and you have familiar faces. But it's taking scenes from every game, man. Literally, you got the pirate ship from Uncharted 4, and you got this scene of him falling out of the back of that cargo plane waking up from Uncharted 3. And it's not where are they trying to make a franchise out of this? Why not do it I don't know. I just didn't, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because
there is no singular vision. It is paint by numbers.
Okay, I want to make a statement about video game movies, and I've made this statement to you before, Mr. Asante, but I'm going to say this again, just for the new people that are here.
Yeah,
I think that there's a fundamental reason and problem why we end up getting, and I'm not saying that Uncharted won't break the mold, but I'm just talking about what we've gotten so far, right? I
have a counter to that, but continue.
I do about that Chris Pratt Super Mario thing.
Oh, please, let's not start down that road. Please,
don't get me started.
No,
but
no.
I do think that the people making these movies do not respect the audience,
the medium, yes,
right? And I think that they look at gamers as guys who like explosions and Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Right.
And every time they
Mountain Dew,
simple creatures.
Every time they come into one of these spaces, they're proven right. But that's a different. That is a different argument, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason we did not get we're in the golden era of comic book movies. Comic book movies used to be like this too, until we got Blade, right? And I mean, Superman, like Richard Donner's Superman was good. You had
was good too, yeah.
The first two was great,
right? Well, the first one,
the Richard Donner cut.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about Batman '89, but yeah. But anyway, my point is, people came along and respected the material.
At least Uwe Ball is not the director.
Right.
Says Mr. Joy in the Dark.
Right.
Touché, sir.
So people came along and respected the material because they grew up with it. Yep. And they came and they went and they just happened to go into the film industry and they were able to translate the things that we read as film. But it seems like a lot of these hardcore gamers haven't really made their way into the film industry,
sure.
And so they don't have the same reverence for some of these characters and material that we've grown up with. And then, so they just look like it's a video game movie. Yep. We got to throw the scene.
I will say
game in there. Hold 1 second. Where you don't have to do that.
Sure.
Take the characters, tell the story. You are making a movie. Make it a good movie first. You don't have to put the callbacks to the games in there.
To your point, the most recent Tomb Raider was woefully underrated. It was a damn good film, and they did exactly that. No, they did. They did exactly that.
I hated that shit.
Why did you hate it?
Oh my god, terrible!
They're making another one. It was actually pretty good.
They shouldn't.
They took the story of the original Tomb Raider and they not the original but the remake, the Crystal Dynamic Tomb Raider, and they didn't do it beat for beat. They made it work in the real world, but they followed the material pretty well.
They didn't make it work. It didn't work.
I'll have to check it out. I've been watching.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yes,
I can.
I actually think they realized that character pretty well. The whole film may not have been wonderful, but that character itself was realized pretty well. It wasn't all about the boobs.
Don't make me watch this movie again to
watch it. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. I would gladly do it. We could do it on Spaces. Let's do that. We could do that.
Horrible. Okay, that's actually a good idea. So so there's that. But I don't listen. It is a sad state of affairs when the best comic book movie we've had is Sonic. Now,
video game movie.
Yes.
Video game. I would say Detective Pikachu's also in there.
Okay, sure. I'll give you that.
Detective Pikachu's in there. But continue.
But the best, So
Blood Rain.
Yes,
Blood Rain.
Yes. Or no, you know what? I take that back.
Street Fighter movie.
But that's animated. Oh, we don't talk about that one. I was talking about the animated.
Raul Julia was amazing in that.
I got one for you, but how was Jean-Claude Van Damme? But as Guile.
As Guile for some people.
Raul Julia, that was his last movie. And he was so over the top that his performance was amazing, bro. The way he committed.
I take that back about Sonic. Rampage was the best video game movie. Still
that's ridiculous.
Sad state of affairs. But anyway, ridiculous. I think that's a good place for us to leave it. I think the trailer reminded me a lot of
let's take the best video game movie? Ready Player One.
Yeah, but that's not based off of a video.
It's not a video game. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Every single video game is in it. So technically, it's a video game movie.
The trailer felt like Jumanji, but with less jokes.
Okay, for Uncharted.
Yes, the Jumanji, the Rock and Kevin Hart movies, right? But the problem with that is those movies work because you have the Rock and Kevin Hart and Jack Black.
Distract you with the funny
things work, right? So the over the top stuff that happens is it.
They make it land, you know what I mean?
Right. I don't know that Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland can take this thing home.
Yeah, I don't know
either.
He's
flying. He's all over the. Like, come on, man. Like,
he looks on their fan bases. Like, people will go watch it just on name recognition alone.
I think that's what I was getting at. Like, I think it will be like a commercial success. This movie, just from the way it looks.
People like both.
It's very casual to me. You know what I mean?
But it looks like they're going in two different directions, though. It looks like they go in two different directions. You have the Last of Us TV show, which does look like it's very much a vision of some director and writer. And then you have this paint by numbers. Hey, the kids will like this. I hope one succeeds and one fails so they know to steer in the better direction.
Yeah,
for sure. I hope they go both. I was going to say they go both ways, pause. But I think both. I want them both to succeed because I want them to do more. And as they succeed, they will get better. Because they will see they have to compete and they're going to make more of these things. So I love what Sony is doing right now. Their game, everyone says their game feels like movies. If they make them into movies and TV shows, I think more people will come in and say, we need to compete with that model and we'll get some of the stories, just like in comic books.
One last quick note. Twisted Metal? Really? I don't see it unless they do, unless it turns into basically Fast and the Furious. Twisted Metal. That's all it would be. And they got Anthony Mackie in there. I'm like, Twisted Metal?
Maybe you think of like Death Race and Fast and Furious.
They can do Ratchet and Clank and work with Pixar.
Anyway, that would be killy.
That's it, folks. I don't want to drag this out for too long. This was a fantastic
Dave
show.
Chappelle thing.
Oh yeah. He wants to talk about the Dave Chappelle thing. Please,
real quick, because I got to get out of here. I've been up for like 22 hours.
Go ahead, man.
I'm not even joking. 22 hours. But go ahead.
Apparently, the CEO from Netflix, he said that he backpedaled and he said that he handled it badly. The whole situation about people being offended, you know, and there's the whole walkout with people who support trans and like trans employees and whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay.
There was a guy who was out there with a picket sign that said, "I like Dave Chappelle." And they took his side from him, broke it, and tore it up.
Man,
he was hilarious.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know. Did you guys watch it? I watched.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
I watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah, I like Sticks and Stones more to me personally, but I think that Dave Chappelle's obviously he's the GOAT at it. He's a master of the craft. I think he did it the way that it should be done. Personally,
that's right.
Like, he went in there and he gave the whole story about his friend who he put on to open his act. And like, I feel like anyone who actually watched that stand up all the way through to the end, like would have a completely different outlook on it. At least I don't see how you couldn't, because he like was completely relatable to them at the end while being funny. And
most of the people who are mad didn't even watch it.
I think it's kind of crazy how stuff can be blown out of proportion. I just think people don't actually watch it and they get in this group mob mindset.
Yeah, but I mean, I
think this guy from Star Trek, George Takei, whatever his name is, he was talking about it, and he was like, he got called out because he was like, oh, if he was to say something about Jews or whatever the hell like that, and then people's like, that just proves you didn't watch it because he had a whole joke about space Jews.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of misquotes on it, and that's why I was like, when I watched that, it's like, okay, because some of the stuff I read about it was pretty out there. I was like, no way.
Even in the last special when he talked about, okay, what if I look like this, but I talk with a Chinese accent? He's like, what do you mean? Like I'm doing a fake accent? He's like, I feel Chinese on the inside, and making that whole joke. But he makes fun of Asians, fun of Black people, front of white people, front of Jews, front of everyone. So why is it that only you say, oh, cancel him?
He's a habitual line stepper. He's always been his entire career. So, we know this.
Everything he says, there's truth in it. And because you're offended by the truth, he should be canceled.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm
not saying you don't have a right to be offended, but all this, nobody else should find it funny, or you shouldn't watch it because I find it offensive. Where do you feel you get that type of power?
And that CEO was trash.
He's not promoting anyone get hurt or anyone go out there and hurt anyone. So why is this, the whole narrative?
I think that it doesn't matter, right? You can't cancel Dave Chappelle. He was already paid, and the show is still airing, and people have the right to be upset, and that's it. Like people gonna complain, and a lot of people get up every day and they look to Twitter or they look to YouTube or whatever social outlets they use, and they look for what to tell them to focus their anger on because they were already angry.
Honestly though, Everborn, I think the problem here, and to LeVar's point, I think the problem here is everything that you're saying and LeVar saying stands, but those who are upset want more action, and they're escalating to try and get more action. That's why the CEO went. That's why the CEO went from. He wants them to remove the shows, things like that. That's what they're trying to drive for, and that is beyond the.
Who are you to dictate what other people can watch?
Yeah, that's where they're escalating to. That's why people are walking out. That's why the CEO went from I don't know what the problem is to we stand behind him to maybe we should, because the mob is escalating. Even though this is nothing new, people. What, you feel your toe has been stepped on? Our toes have been stepped on for eons. It is what it is. The problem isn't that it doesn't matter. It isn't that you have the right to be offended. All that stands. What seems to be happening is the more we go, let's move on, the more the mob goes, no, we're going to stick right here, and we're going to keep yelling and screaming until we get more of what we want, which is ultimately get rid of all the Dave Chappelle stuff off of Netflix, for instance, stuff like that, which is a problem. You disagree?
No, I mean, listen,
that's what they want.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to be successful, right?
No, I don't think
so. The CEO has already backpedaled a little bit.
Maybe, sure.
He's already started backpedaling.
We'll see if it gets taken down. This is the thing. I believe that, as I've said many times, sunlight is the best disinfectant, right? And what that means is if there's an actual bad idea, if there's actual bigotry and all these other things going on, they said it. Now we can see it, and now we know how to act accordingly. And I do not like this idea of, and listen, it is not lost on me that we're 4 dudes with families or whatever that are talking about this and saying nothing's wrong here, nothing to see here. I'd like to hear from somebody of that community to talk about it. But this idea that we're going to cancel people is strange to me. And it's not just Dave Chappelle. This thing goes on to it is a problem when we're shutting people down. We're attempting to do that.
Agreed.
Right?
To say a person should lose their livelihood, you should never be allowed to do anything again because you offended me.
But that is part of the reason.
You should just go into a hole and disappear. Fuck your family, fuck your kids, fuck your grandchildren, fuck anything you got going on. You offended me. So die.
But this is the thing, and this is why sort of Dave Chappelle is not. You can't cancel Dave Chappelle, right?
No, he's one of the few that can do this,
right? So because he doesn't,
all they could
not
do
looking
is
for any.
Try to get it pulled off of Netflix, and if they do that, I would boycott Netflix.
Yeah,
if
that's a bad precedent to set.
Of Netflix, I would boycott Netflix because there's so much other streaming services. Like, fuck y'all for doing that.
Then we should pick up picket signs. We should then start fighting because that is beyond the pale.
And again, I think the most salient point that I would love somebody to argue this point. I would love someone to argue this point. We didn't cancel the baby for shooting a black guy and killing him.
Yeah,
it was self-defense.
Cool, but we didn't cancel him for that. And we don't cancel people for all of the derogatory stuff they say in the black community.
Black women. towards shoot, kill, and words and whatnot.
None of that is relevant
cool.
to cancel. But when we get to talking about two specific communities, then we have that problem. So if you're not mad at the drug talk and the gun talk and the literally murdering someone on camera, but you are mad at
they sing along to it, they dance to it like yeah.
Say the N-word
to themselves.
All of that's cool.
That's cool.
Right? So that's ultimately what I would love to hear somebody's take on. If you didn't, and don't say that's bad too now, but you wasn't trying to get the shows canceled when you was saying
in those days. That's right.
You're trying to get it canceled now.
That's the whole reason
make that make sense
away from the Chappelle show.
No, that was a different reason because people.
That was part of it. It's just they're like, you're not laughing, with me. You're laughing at me. It's just they're like all this racist type of things and stereotypical things, and he just looked at them a different way. He's like, it didn't feel right. He said this in an interview.
No, I know he said that, but maybe people are arguing that they feel like they're being laughed at, but can't we all be laughed at?
Well, right, that's part of.
We've all been laughed at.
He's not just
we didn't cancel anybody for that.
Stuff, you know what I mean? He's a comedian. He's been doing this for years, and
equal opportunity. Yes.
Not every movie's for everybody. Not every game's for everybody. Not every joke's for everybody. Some people are a lot better at laughing at themselves and be able to take a joke than a lot of other people are. But at the end of the day, the dude, he's a comedian up there, and he makes jokes on everybody.
Tucker Carlson says offensive shit. I don't watch Fox News.
Right.
There you go. It doesn't bother me. He can say whatever racist dumb shit he want. I don't watch it. I don't give a shit who watches it. Who cares? It don't affect me. You don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah. The only place where I will stand on the picket line with my man LeVar is when they start going, not only are we offended, but you're no longer allowed to have it around because we're offended.
So exactly. let me I guess we'll leave it here because we do got to get out of here. The CEO can do his tap dance moves. Maybe he called up Jim Ryan and was like, I need some lessons or whatever.
Teach me some moves.
Right? So he can do all of that, but he's doing what he needs to do. As long as they don't pull the content, then he can say whatever he wants.
Not because he fired people.
But since he backstepped, now I got a side eye open a little bit to see what happens next.
No, but it was this whole thing.
Whatever, right?
It was this whole thing where it could have been handled a little bit better, right? And in the sense that he could have quelled the angriness in the office before people are leaking salaries and things like that. So as a CEO, that was handled poorly, however you feel about what we're debating right now, right? So he did he did handle the situation poorly, and if he's acknowledging that, cool, because we're never supposed to hear that employees were upset. You should have went and had somebody talk with those employees and hear their opinions. Not that you're gonna not air the show, but you should make sure those
people's feelings being hurt and all of these type of things. But still, they didn't take it off. So
no, but he should have talked about people's feelings being hurt inside the office before you and I are all hearing about it.
It should have been kept under wraps instead of
that means it was handled poorly in a way. So if he's apologizing for that, all good. But until they take the show off, I think everybody's allowed to feel what they feel and voice their opinions. Because just like I could say, I thought the show was smart and he didn't say anything that was too wrong, somebody else can also feel the opposite. And it should be there for us. And that is the idea that we can go and debate about these things.
Right.
And that's what it should be.
White
he's doing the Lord's work,
jokes.
Man. Doing being able to
spark conversation. It offends me kind of. But I see the truth in it. Mm-hmm. And if it's kind of funny, it's kind of funny. But it's like you don't want to hear it from other people. Yep. You feel me? Yeah. You could know that it's true, but you don't want to hear it from somebody that's not in the community.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that don't take away the truth in it. You understand?
And that don't automatically mean you become a letter writer and
like that and paint in broad strokes. And because everyone is different.
Joanna Dark says nobody canceled Howard Stern, but they definitely tried to.
They tried to, for sure, for sure.
They've been trying to cancel Howard Stern.
Yeah, they've been trying, for sure.
But like I said, when you control, listen, Dave Chappelle is not trying to host the Oscars. Dave Chappelle is in control of his own destiny, and they could pull it tomorrow. He's not losing anything.
Dave Chappelle is touring right now.
Right.
Exactly.
He knew what he was doing. He said it was going to be his last show for this reason.
This is going to be his last Netflix one.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Because he knew what was going to happen after this.
With this. I'm going to just go on back to doing what I was doing. Right. He'll never stop doing comedy.
Yeah. And then somebody will pay him $20 million again when they trying to build up HBO Max numbers.
He will film like 6 more specials and sell it to them.
That's right.
Right.
Ooh.
All right.
And so I know we're about to close up. Then we can go to our outros. Shout out to the man Neil Gainspark in the chat. He joined us a bit late. I would one day love to have a conversation with you, good sir, maybe on the show about Cowboy Bebop and what you think of that, because that is a conversation for another day.
You know what? That's another one we should live watch.
Yep.
So Neo, if you're still in the chat, what we are trying to do is set up sort of these spaces. They're not about games, but we pick a movie and everybody in the spaces watches. Joanna Dark says, I mean Peacock when they trying to get that popping, but everybody in the spaces starts the movie at the same time, and we discuss the movie together while we watch it.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man.
It'd be cool.
I've seen people do that on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying. We could do it in spaces.
We could do it in spaces.
I think it could be
I'll
big.
be doing that all the time with people on Xbox anyways. My boys, we all be watching movies and just talking anyways. It's a fun thing to do.
I mean, I'll never do it with the first time I'm watching a movie because I need to understand. But after I've seen it.
And Everborn, to go even further, we can totally do that on a virtual screen in VR. That's another thing I've been wanting to talk about. That's another day. That's another day.
Taking it to another level.
That's another day.
We'll
talk about
all right.
That later.
On that note, Mr. Cotton, tell the people where you can find you, because I need to go to bed and I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, man. Get some rest. Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. Really big time. This is actually
fun, man.
One of my favorite shows I've been on, because I just it's a broad spectrum of stuff we got to talk about. I love talking about movies and everything in between. So love to, hopefully I'll see you guys on prime time. I'm trying to link up with Mr. Boomstick XL and get back on there when I can. You guys can find me on Twitter at Cotton. It's Cotton with 1 O and an underscore at the end. If you can find me on my Twitter, you can also find my Xbox gamer tag and PlayStation Network and everywhere else I'm going to be at. So yeah, feel free to hit me up, and I'm down to play anything or talk movies, games. What's that?
Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Hold on.
Yeah. We don't have the tags on the screen. Usually we do.
Talking about?
Yeah.
Now we do.
There you go. Very nice.
Cool. I appreciate it, dudes. Have a good time.
Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. You are always welcome back. Mr. Johnson, where can the good people find you, sir?
At LeVar F. Johnson on all your platforms, on your YouTubes, on your Instagrams, on your Facebooks. I'm everywhere.
Even though you're everywhere, but you're never there.
Sometimes. If you hit me up, I respond.
Okay.
I lurk. I'm in the shadows.
Creeping in the DMs, sliding in DMs. All right, Mr. K. Asante.
I'll say, Cotton, I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you, Mag, for coming through. Appreciate you, Cyber, also for coming through. Cotton, you and I, we're still going to hit it up on Halo once the light is green. When the light is green, you see what I did there. You can find me, TKO Asante, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation. Saturday, we will be doing the Gaming Circle podcast as we do. That show is going through a bit of a makeover. Like we have some real cool, like fun stuff we're working on in the background. Hopefully we'll be able to put that out there, and we'll also bring that to this show as well, which will be
not by this Saturday, but yeah.
No, not by this Saturday for sure. Definitely not by this Saturday, but just keep your eyes open. I know a lot of the community members, we've been talking about it for a little bit, but we are definitely working on that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate you guys always being in the chat. Mr. Joe in the Dark, appreciate you, good sir, and we'll see you guys again next week. How about you, man? Right.
And you can find me everywhere at Everborn Saga. That is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Very active on Twitter. I follow everybody who follows me. Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. not Switch because their online network is hot garbage.
Their social security number system, nah, man, that's not it. We
right.
Don't want to
and most importantly, everbornsaga.com, where you can get all these fantastic books that we create, and keep an eye out there because we are getting ready to launch our new Kickstarter for the Redlands. It is a very think Aladdin meets Ocean's 11 meets My Hero Academia. Just all those things mixed up in one. It's a revenge tale. It's a high story, and it's people that look like us here. So it's probably our best work to date, and you'll be hearing more about it very soon. But that's going to be launching in early November. And like I said, just go to everbornsaga.com and you can find out more about that very soon. And I think that's it, man. And listen, I just want to leave you all with one thing. I know we had some very serious talk, but on a more serious note, I'm glad that raggedy bitch Beverly Keane is dead. And
I'm
I hope
glad.
she burn in hell.